I'm testing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, thank
All
God.
right. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. Okay, so next week we'll pick a day and we'll try to see if we can work out all of our kinks early and get everything going. I will work on that early on next week. It was working for some reason. Once everybody got together, it decided to go and say no.
Well, I'm
Typical.
off on Monday.
Okay. Let's shoot Monday-ish. Is that the only day you got off? I hate
Yeah.
to. Okay. We'll try to make it quick to where you're not like that's the only thing you do because I know your days off are precious after pulling cable for 10 hours all day. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And looks like we should be going live. And hello, folks. Sorry about the late start here. We've been having a bit of technical difficulties.
Changes are happening, but change always comes with growing pains.
Lots of growing pains. Lots of growing pains. All right, so let me get this shared to the group. Well, can I not share it to the group?
Growing pains indeed. I switched up everything for my YouTube channel, and YouTube screwed me on going live at the right time.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, I was supposed to be 7:45. Like, cool. I went live. It said going live for 10 minutes. Like, oh my God.
So we're all going through growing pains, right? Does that mean that our audience will be sharing the laughter and love?
I certainly hope
of
so.
course.
Hope so.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome, Ross.
Okay,
Thank you for getting
nice
it.
one, son. Very good.
That was a TV pun.
Yes, it was. All
That
right,
was part of the theme song for Growing Pains.
Well, we are certainly having growing pains tonight.
Damn it, son.
Hey, we're about to our normal old starting time, so we are right on track.
Hey, Ross is good with that. He had 4 10s working. Now he's got 4 days off now.
10, 10, 2, 20.
Well, no, technically he's only got 3 days off because Monday is a grill day. So he has to be full-time dead Monday.
Monday is also alcohol day.
Actually, tomorrow's alcohol day.
Tomorrow is alcohol day.
Because tomorrow is my birthday.
Ooh.
It's also the only day of the week where most counties in Arkansas are like dry. So it is alcohol day tomorrow.
Speaking of
dry counties down here, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of dry, New Mexico just passed a law that alcohol can be sold at any time on any day now. Well, not any time, but the whole no alcohol before 12 on Sundays, they killed that. So you can get it at 7 a.m. on Sundays now.
Yeah, that's like that here too.
Slowly repealing prohibition again.
Right.
And speaking of anniversaries, since we are live, it should be noted that we kind of missed talking about it, but it is not only the 5th anniversary of my channel, Live, Love, Play, but also the 5th anniversary of this podcast.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Super Geeks started about a month before I rebranded my Twitch channel as Live, Love, Play.
You see, Carlos, when the Earth goes around the sun, time moves.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's one of the weird things about how your brain and time physics works. See, the younger you are, the longer the years seem, and then as you start to get older, all the years start to compress together. So each year starts getting progressively faster and faster and faster and faster, and you're like, Jesus, where did 10 years go?
Oh shit!
Thank you, son.
So in Carlos's case, he's like, where did the last 100 years go?
Basically.
Case is where's the buffet?
I mean, it was over 60 years ago when Carlos was part of the original Breakfast Club.
Okay, Breakfast Club came out in 1984.
She said the original Breakfast Club.
And it was based on a true story. And that was part of your life. They just changed the names and characters for safety. So, oops.
And and set it in suburban Chicago.
Oh
Mhm.
my!
This is your PSA, chat. That if you see a young Carlos around, that's clearly a variant.
Oh.
You can't see it, but it's actually on my back.
Mhm. Hey,
And Lane's not around, and that makes
Oh.
Travis a variant as well.
That no kidding. I just noticed that Lane isn't there.
Travis.
Where is Lane? Where is Lane?
Travis, are you okay?
Bye.
You-
Travis, you okay?
Dealing with a little anxiety. Give me a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Buddy.
You're good.
Hey, everybody.
So how about
Dear
that
Lord,
He-Man
that is the
trailer?
biggest glass of orange juice ever. Is that Gatorade or is
It's
that orange
strawberry lemonade.
juice? Wow.
Mixed with
I
alcohol.
am blind. I need my glasses.
Yeah, you have alcohol.
How about that new He-Man trailer?
Ugh.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to go watch it.
Heyo.
Ew, what?
How was that army so attractive in that trailer? I'm just saying. You should not be able to animate pretty people like that. It's a crime.
I mean, they did it with every single villain in She-Ra. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they said that He-Man this won't connect with the current running She-Ra series.
And so many of those She-Ra fans got so fucking pissed, and I just sat back and went, "Yeah, soak it in, bitches." You literally had Melody Brett call your asses out because even the voice actors were ragging on fans of the original She-Ra.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sure.
You know what? This is like the whole 2016 Ghostbusters dilemma, though, when they when they announced this new one.
Don't talk about 2016 Ghostbusters.
Leslie Jones killed Ghostbusters.
Hey, Ghostbusters killed Ghostbusters.
I just find her obnoxious in
Exactly.
anything she's in. I just don't find her and Tiffany Haddish are like the two that just get on my nerves, and Chris Rock, like anytime any of them three
love
speak.
Leslie Jones. I love
Good.
her.
Now Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, I thought they were great. Leslie Jones, I was like, no.
Kristen Wiig plays the same character over and over again.
And it works.
Like even in Wonder Woman 1984, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do something special. No. It's just they put on glasses on her to make her seem like a nerd again.
They turned her SNL character into a cheetah. That's what they did.
You know what? People were like, I hate the CGI of this. I'm like, you know what? That's the least offensive thing about this film.
That's true.
Just like Ghostbusters 2016.
Ouch.
You know what? No, I actually give something to Ghostbusters 2016, and that is the trailer theme was really awesome. And
Yeah,
then
no,
that
if
was
you
it.
watch, if you that's where so many people are pissed about Ghostbusters 2016 is you watched the trailer and you expected something completely different than what happened in that fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
That movie was not as advertised.
They reduced the original cast to just cameos. It's like, really?
Yeah. If you're gonna bring back the original cast, at least relate them to what's going on in some way.
Which is
Jesus.
Fucking background characters.
like I'll be completely honest. I have hype for one thing and one thing only, and I really hope that this sequel to Ghostbusters thing is actually good if it gets finished.
Wait, what do you mean gets finished?
As far as I'm aware, it's still in production. The whole they find the Ecto one, and it's like
No, it's
30
done.
years-
It comes out this year.
Real. There's something to look forward
Did they
to.
announce a date?
Yeah, August. I will say next
Yeah,
month
August,
because they were supposed to come out last year, but pandemic. So then they announced that it's coming out this year.
Sweet.
I'm just saying, if you know what would have been really dope for like Ghostbusters is if you got like the Cobra Kai director like to just start taking 80s properties and start making like these high budget Netflix shows for, because that person obviously gets the source material and what makes those shows special. They don't try to change them in outrageous ways, and and you could tell that the person genuinely loves the damn origin. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the
Like,
thing. Here's the thing. Ivan Reitman, Jason Reitman's son, is directing this. His dad was producing it. And I just looked it up. November 11th this year, it releases in theaters.
Sweet.
Hey, if Black Widow finally came out, then movies are coming back.
Fast
Hollywood,
9 is,
like America, is back, baby.
I know it's bad, but Fast 9, there's your return to theaters, and that's just going to go from there.
Wouldn't that be interesting, though, to have a Flight of the Navigator Netflix series where it's like all the adventures that the kid was on in the spaceship before he forced Max to send it back?
Compliance. Isn't that the word they used all the time? In that? Compliance.
Of course,
Fast and the Furious.
you could still have Paul Rubens be the voice of the ship.
Have you? I don't know if you guys like keep up with any like YouTube stuff, but did you guys see the reviews like for the Fast and the Furious movies that Angry Joe did? I actually love the parody where it was like they're only like they explained why Vin Diesel's always talking about family, and they made up this like elaborate backstory that he went into an Olive Garden and hit his head. They treated him like family, so that's like how he goes around and like makes a connection to family everywhere.
No. It's obvious. It's obvious where the whole family thing comes from. Vin Diesel was actually alive in the Ark universe and somehow got transported to this universe, and the only thing he knows is how to drive fast because of all the dinosaurs he used to ride in Ark.
Okay, let's get started.
The Vin Diesel multiverse is happening.
Barely heard you, Justin.
All right. Hold on. Let me get my audio up. Yeah. Rolling. All right. There we go. Little high, little low. All right. Let's get this party started.
Rock and roll.
We will do our normal.
That is so good.
The Bad Batch. And I'm brain farting so hard, so we're just going to skip to the show. Justin, take it away.
Welcome to Super Geeks.
Loki, Wakanda.
So welcome to Super Geeks. Ross is having a brain fart at the moment.
Ross.
Welcome
You
to the
embody
Real
how we
Super
feel.
Geeks. Welcome to the Real Super Geeks. My name is Ross, also known as Live Love Play, and thank you for joining us on this episode on the 2nd of July, 2021. It is not even the holiday yet, and I am already burned the hell out.
Now, Ross, we have to be PC here. It's not brain farting, it is cranial flatulence.
Whatever you want to call it, I'm a mess. So let's see how this turns out
At
tonight.
least you're a hot mess, Ross.
Yes. All right. Justin, if you will pan out, please.
Yeah, I can. Go.
And joining us once again, our returning cast of beloved, wild, zany characters. We'll start out with our former host, now regular host, Carlos Pedraza. How are you doing today?
Glad to be here. I'm doing okay. My iPad, which I thought was dead, has been resurrected, so I'm very happy about that.
Nice bit of blur you got going on there.
I'm testing it on my webcam.
Tired of having to trying to choose something to go on in the background, huh?
Yeah,
You're hiding the bodies, aren't you?
that's what you see back there.
Yeah.
Very blurry.
He is the heavy lifter, the heavyweight, the man behind the control panel, behind the curtain. Justin, how you doing today?
Little stressed out. That was the whole pre-show thing. It was a little stressful trying to get things going. We're trying to test new software. Didn't quite work out. We'll have it well-oiled machine by next week, hopefully. So, yeah. Other than that, I am doing just ready for this weekend because I'm going to drink, relax, and eat barbecue.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, do not fuck with him for the foreseeable future. Travis and Lane, how are you guys doing?
Oh, could be this. I'm single again, everybody. It's been a week dealing with some anxiety, depression. Comes and goes, good times, bad times. Not much else to say. Getting through it, and that's what matters. I apologize if I seem a bit out of it. I'm actually kind of recovering from a little bit of some anxiety just now, so yeah. Take the camera off me.
Well, we're glad you're here and that you continue to be here.
You may be single, sweetie, but you'll always have your family here.
Yeah.
Well, she looks edgy as hell, but we know she's a big softie. Raina, how you doing today?
It has been a week of insanity. It's like for every win that I got, I had a loss, but I kind of evened out that at the end. So I'm here today and excited. I've been looking forward to this, all my nerdy goodness. So I got my dorm. My surgery's been kind of in the wind because my insurance is being an a-hole. But, you know, I seem to have everything else figured out. So it seems to be working good in the long run. So
Very good.
I am happy and I am here.
Justin,
Outstanding.
put full screen Raina for me, will you?
Yes, I will.
And even though I've just said everything I need to say, hi, audience. Like I said, like Ross said, big softy.
The hair looks
And
lovely. Hair looks lovely.
So you need to change
Thank
your
you.
tag there to from Raina to Big Softy.
Hey, you may not know, I may be only a softy because I'm the variance of the bunch. Number 22, actually.
I thought I was the variant.
We're
Well,
all
no,
variants here.
Travis is a variant. He's variant number 99.
I'm the only
Hey.
one here not human. What the hell are you talking about?
Before you
Not
pass,
true. Lane is not human.
no, before you pass
no.
the torch on, we're all variants. The only one normal here is Lane.
True. Lane is certified part of the sacred timeline.
I don't think Lane would be considered normal, but okay.
Lane is the
All
timekeeper.
right. He's the king of bad takes, but he's the best at it. Greg, how you doing?
Yeah, I gotta love the intros Ross gives me. They're great every week. So
yeah,
I have
no,
actually,
they're top notch.
And completely improvised. I come up with them like seconds before I have to introduce people.
So I actually have an interesting story to share. So we actually had a really good week. As you see behind me, I changed my setup. I came into we were moving around our office, and I have joined an exclusive club of parents where we lost our kid. So we're in the office doing stuff, and all of a sudden we're like, wow, it's really quiet. Our year-and-a-half-old son opened our front door and managed to run his happy ass halfway across the apartment complex, where thankfully our complex manager found him, grabbed him, and we're like, oh, dear God.
Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky.
Oh, we are very lucky. We know that. But it was just like, we just about, basically, both of us, my girlfriend and I, just about died that day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Top
I
roof
would
lock,
too.
everything. You have an escape party.
Yeah, we know now. So everything's locked.
Always chain the door.
And put the chain up to the top part of the door where he cannot get to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right now, the deadbolt on the door is high enough where he won't be able to reach that until he's my age. So,
Oh.
Hey, Greg, no offense. He was running from that shirt.
you know what, Raina?
What is that?
Jurassic World.
What? Oh dear God! That's
It's a
my-
T-Rex eating the logo for Jurassic
Yes.
World.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I kind of
That's
dig
why
those
I-
movies,
yeah.
so I kind of dig those movies. So
Let's
Oh,
see,
I
right
love the
there.
Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies, except for Jurassic Park 3.
And I got this.
Jurassic
I
Park
don't
really
think nobody likes 3.
Nice.
I saw a picture for the toy for the Jurassic Park Jeep Transformer.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's got the Australian guy's hat. You know, the hunter guy.
Yes. You know what? Hold on for Ross. Yes.
You're such a
All
mega
right.
fan that if Spielberg or Pratt doesn't invite you soon, it's going to be upsetting.
Well, I mean, it's not like you know, the incident where Sean got an invite to a premiere and not Carlos, the film
Oh my
producer.
God! I don't think we.
And
ever agree
last
with that.
but certainly not least, Justin.
Yes.
Well,
I'm tired of scaring
we
people.
all Greg's face is very appealing, but it's not the only one. All right, son. We're all waiting to see where are you this week.
Where the hell are you, son?
Well, this week I instead of world domination, I thought I'd probably try and stop it. So
Ooh.
I'm in the alternate timeline for XCOM, playing the Bureau today. So
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
that'll be running in the background.
Oh dear.
So here's the thing, Ross. I actually enjoy the alternate universe for XCOM more than I do normal XCOM. I
Really?
I actually really want them to make more of this universe or further it a bit.
Did you,
Hell, even remaster this game, and just tighten up the storytelling and the controls would be amazing.
It definitely could use another once over. It's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
It's
no,
not well received.
So do you
Yeah.
did you name your soldiers like
in this playthrough, no. I just wanted something going on in the background. I have before. I just did not for the recording today.
Yeah, this is the third-person squad tactics game, not the top-down turn-based game.
This is Command and Conquer Renegades, but XCOM.
I don't know either.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming back once again. Let's move on into our first review of the night, and that is the Bombshell, pun intended, for Loki episode 4.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Cosby being released. Oh,
Oh,
That's
God.
later.
That was
No.
great, Bombshell.
Let's
No.
not go there right now.
We're
Not
no
Loki.
No.
Big oof.
No.
Uh,
No.
We're complaints.
Loki, episode 4. We left off with the mini cliffhanger where Loki and Sylvie looked up at the wreck of the ship that they were trying to escape on as it crumbled to pieces in the debris of the falling planet. And we start off with a tender moment between them. They briefly touch in an endearing final moment of of intimacy, and it's enough to cause a Nexus event that homes the TVA on where they are. They're captured, they're brought back to the TVA, interrogated, where the truth finally comes out that the TVA is populated by variants and not the creations of the Timekeepers. With that, thank you, Travis.
So who called that? So who called that last week?
I think didn't I say they were gonna be able to track them down? The TVA was gonna be able to track them down.
No. That the entirety of the TVA were all variants.
Raina's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raina's mom.
There we go.
I'm telling you, man, Raina's mom's got like the inside track right now.
Raina's mom is New George.
Ooh.
She's 3 for 3.
Both Loki
Wait to
and
see,
Sylvie
like-
are able to engineer escapes in one way or another. They are confronted by the judge. Deaths happen, and Loki and Sylvie make their way to the Timekeepers themselves, where they are revealed to be androids. And that's where we leave off, with, of course, Loki being smote.
Not just Loki.
Well, yes, but we'll get to that as well.
Okay.
All right.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Spoilers.
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 That's on me.
Spoilers.
That's on me. I didn't tell you.
Negative 5 to marriage to Ross. You still got
You can blame me, folks. Send your hate mail to me. I can take it. Anyway, so what are your reactions to the absolute bloodbath that was this episode? We lost Owen Wilson. We lost Loki, kinda.
We think we lost Owen.
We lost C-24. We almost lost Sylvie, and we apparently lost the Timekeeper. So, Justin, let's lead off with you.
Well, as we see with Loki magically appearing over there, and I doubt we actually lost anybody. I think they just get sent somewhere else.
So here's the question then. Does everyone who seems to be purged actually get transported to this limbo?
That would be my guess. If that's the case, then there might be thousands of duplicate variants.
And how many Lokis did they say they have?
Well,
The most common variant, it seems.
yes.
Yeah, he was met by 3, right?
4.
Yeah. One really old
Oh,
one.
right.
was
I
like-
forgot alligator Loki.
I'm not going to be happy until I see Hog Loki, Pig Loki.
Horse Loki.
No. There is an entire Marvel multiverse entirely populated by pig versions of the heroes.
Peter Porker.
Peter Parker, prime example.
Spider Pig.
Doctor Doom tried to exterminate that entire universe because his alternate was a pun on ham.
I mean, let's be honest. Who wouldn't try to destroy that entire universe? Bacon is delicious.
And can you imagine what the pork tastes like over there?
I'm sorry for interrupting you, Justin. Please continue.
I lost track where I was at, but that's okay. Yeah, it's like
If it's Peter Porker that we're eating, it's probably going to be a little stringy.
I really got
The incredible spider ham.
with,
Damn, it's done.
with eggs and barbecue sauce.
See, I don't need to hit redeems to make Ross do shit. I just tell jokes.
Anyway, so yeah, I really think that we're going to be getting a whole another backstory. I really wonder how they're going to pull this off with 6 episodes. Is it only 6 for Loki?
Yeah, so far I think it's only 6.
This is not right. That's not right at all. Then we need another season of this. We need more than one season of Loki.
We're not getting another season. We're getting repercussions.
Yeah, we're getting repercussions.
Yeah, I wonder if this is what sets off the multiverse madness. I'm betting you we got to get Doctor Strange out of this. I mean, if we don't see Doctor Strange, I'll be shocked at the end of this because I mean,
This will be the
everything.
second series we don't get him.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see him, honestly. This is all, I think Ross is right. This is all a setup to where we are going to see Doctor Strange. but we're going to see, whatever's left over at the end of Loki is basically where Doctor
Loki
Strange is going to pick up.
Loki kibbles bits.
Because after this, what's next? What if?
What if?
Yeah.
What if this was set up to What If universe?
Well, what if is an anthology that really doesn't have any bearing unless the characters suddenly become popular and then they get their own show, their own series. Spider-Girl, for example.
Could you
Ms.
imagine
Marvel? When is Ms. Marvel gonna?
Next year?
She's getting a movie.
No,
She's getting a series.
Yeah, she's getting a series.
Wait,
Yeah,
does She-Hulk come next?
I don't know, honestly. Like She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, I think they're all like out next year or the year after.
Yeah,
but,
and I think Ironheart
I
is
know
coming out
Mark
next
Ruffalo
year
was
too.
spotted on the set of She-Hulk. So.
Another Ironheart?
Could you
Yeah,
imagine?
Ironheart is supposed to come out next year.
Could you imagine if
Sorry,
If gave us a better Wakanda vision or a WandaVision?
I like
Yeah,
WandaVision.
There you go.
That's really great.
Make it WandaVision, but it's Wakanda Vision.
But did you guys see this? Like, do you guys have noticed this trend? There's going to be a villain that gets away because we keep having one. Zemo, White Vision. Like, I hope Sylvie. Like, I hope like they're all coming together to make the Thunderbolts. I know, like, there's kind of like this, continuing hint. But could you imagine like Sylvie with that ragtag? Like, Sylvie and Zemo in the same room would be honestly the most hilarious thing ever.
The
It'll
villain
be
that
it.
gets away is the Timekeepers.
Yeah,
They
Well,
were
my theory is that the Timekeepers were created by yet another version of Loki.
That would be the greatest trick in history.
And that girl that killed sent Loki to wherever Loki went is probably the one that did it.
Could you imagine if the Eternals are just all different variants of Loki?
Oh my god.
There is another possibility. A lot of the commentators that I watch on YouTube keep dropping the name Kang the Conqueror, who's apparently showing up in, I think it's the next Ant-Man movie. Apparently, he's had a lot of dealings with the TVA and the Timekeepers themselves. He wants to change time to suit his conquests, his goals. What if he's the one puppeteering in the background?
I've always thought Kang the Conqueror was kind of a rinky-dink villain. I just don't see it happening. I mean, obviously he can be around, but I don't think he's going to be a big bad by any means.
I mean, to be fair, Marvel has a good track record of taking villains that are kind of nobodies and making them into big things.
What If is next? It's supposed to come out summer 2021. Miss Marvel late 2021.
Yep.
Hawkeye later 2021. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, followed by Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, Ironheart, and She-Hulk.
Wait, which of those is movies and which of those are?
All of these are TV series.
Those are all series.
Okay.
Oh, I'm calling it now. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special will be better than the Star Wars. Fight me, Sean.
The two pantsless wonders going after each other.
Sean's too busy plotting world domination in Vegas this year to worry about that. So,
The Pantsless Revolution.
yes,
It will be televised.
From the waist up.
yes, with biscuits. With
So this is the
biscuits.
spoiler for the new phase of Marvel, the Pantsless Revolution.
Yes.
All right,
Because
Justin,
Sean is not a variant.
anything more to say?
No, that pretty much covered it. Actually, it's one thing. I think, yeah, I think we might see Strange. I'm calling it now. I think we might see Strange, or at least a variant of Strange.
I don't think we're going to see him. At the
Well,
end.
Carlos, tell me your thoughts and reactions to the episode.
Well, I love what they're doing with Loki. They're actually, pushing the Marvel universe outward, like in a good way. I mean, they're exploring other corners of it. They're they're doing in a way that balances drama and and some dark humor really well. And I have a feeling that it counts. It's going to be. I think you put it best, Ross, when you said that this is all set up and for what's coming, in the next round of the bigger films. And and I think that Loki's the perfect character to do this around, because they get to explore so many different aspects of the whole sort of Marvel universe through each of these different versions of Loki. I am personally excited at finding out more about Alligator Loki. And just in case some of the folks at home didn't sit through enough of the credits to actually get there, y'all need to go back and sit through all the credits, because it's not all the credits, about half the credits. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, go to the credits and let them run through about halfway. Because there's stuff. Now the other thing, which of us here is the one that that was Jason, wasn't it? Who was always talking about Threshold from Voyager?
Yeah,
that was Jason.
Threshold, and These Are the Voyages.
Yes, and that popped right back into my mind once I saw Alligator Loki. All I could think of was, this must be Janeway and Paris's child.
Why? What?
That was all over the Star Trek page.
Why?
Oh!
That was on the Star Trek page.
I can't believe you had that at the ready, Justin.
You know I did. I also have this at the ready.
Okay,
And this at the ready.
Don't show your hand too early there, Justin. Anyway, so that's my general reaction. I thought it was a great episode. We're going to explore some things I don't think we would have been able to explore in any other Marvel series. I was bummed about Mobius, but I don't think he's dead. He was also pruned, as you may recall. But I went back and looked at some of the trailers and stuff, and we actually see him like driving I think a Jeep through a desert, and obviously that hasn't happened yet in the episodes that we've seen. So he's back somehow. Maybe he went to the same place Loki did. I don't know, but I guess we will find out more next week.
Well, obviously he's going out into the desert and finding a head in a box, right?
No, he's getting his jet ski.
He's going
to get his jet ski.
Oh my god! Wow!
I am.
I think I may have found my man.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Thank you, Emma.
Just going to cling on to those amazing memes for those who are listening and watching. All right, Raina, how about you? What were your thoughts on the episode?
First of all, as someone who's a sucker for Lady Sif, I really love that whole cell scene. It was so good.
Oh my god.
It was such a good cameo. I actually just really like this episode. And it's funny because the show keeps having people going on and on about, I didn't like the direction they took. And it's every time they say that, I know this episode's going to be good. Because it's literally the opposite. Everybody loved the opening of Loki, and I thought it was slow and boring. And now it's like they're saying this is the bad section and it's the good section. I like Sylvie a lot. Seriously,
so does Loki.
Her and Loki have this they have perfect chemistry because it's from the same period. It's kind of funny, and I like how they actually joke about the nature of it, how odd and strange it is, but at the same time, not so much that he's so egotistical. He can only like himself. And I thought that was really good. But overall, it was just, I kind of figured the Judge character was going to be bad. That was actually my prediction this week. I was I was the one who was telling my mom, just watch, you're going to get to the timekeepers, and the timekeepers are going to be some illusion or something. And I was right for once.
Yes, you were right about that. When I watched that, I was like, yeah, nailed it.
I saw it and I was like, they're gonna get to them, but something is gonna be completely off. I was with Ross though, like I thought, oh my god, this is gonna be another Loki's image or something. Like
I mean,
that's what I thought.
They're being way too smart out of Loki, and like they're timekeepers. They had the power to end them. Why bring them before them and give them the chance to even do what they did? They would have been able to see that. They're robots. They got their butts handed to them.
I know it's not going to happen, but I swear I wish they would do like another Mephisto Easter egg. I want Mephisto in the MCU, and they won't do
Mephisto's
it.
not coming to the MCU. I'm
Apparently,
sorry.
I know.
Mephisto and King the Conqueror are the ones that everyone's clamoring for. Personally, I think it's fine without him, but
Like I can deal without Kang, but it's like Mephisto would be like so cool. I guess it's just personal.
I just have this feeling he would end up on screen looking like like Satan from the South Park movie.
Like a bootleg thing.
I
Like
mean,
a bootleg Santa.
sadly, that would still look better than Dormammu. But the one thing that I'm really hoping for, and I know this sounds stupid, and they won't do it, but I hope they have like a Deadpool moment where Loki kills Thanos, like surprisingly during one of the main movies. Just I was really hoping that they were gonna do that, like how Deadpool killed the fake Deadpool. Like I really wanted a scene like that. Like, I got you first. Like just something hilarious.
Or it could just happen off camera, like he did when he killed Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly, something like that. Or just have a Loki running into Tom Hiddleston. That'll set me up for my cameo right there. That would be hilarious. But I love this episode. I think it was great. I think the pacing was fantastic, and even though we knew the TVA was bad, I really felt like how they played it was perfect. Like they gave you the right amount of information to kind of guess where they were going to go with it. I mean, but how they show it is I like even like the temp pad, the zoom in of that, where it's got the wood and gold features, kind of like something so old school, but at the same time so futuristic. I just love the whole aesthetic of this show. It just
the production design of it. You're totally right. It reminded me. Have any of you seen Brazil? The movie Brazil.
What?
Oh, you should check it out. It was produced I think in the late '80s by what was the name of the guy from Monty Python? Terry Gilliam. And it is set in sort of a dystopian future, and the look and feel of the agency where he works, or the mysterious agency, is all very futuristic but very analog at the same time. And Loki's the TVA's look is very much like that, and it reminded me of it. But I agree with you, Raina.
You mean like a starship of the future with gumdrop buttons and wooden slat data cards?
No.
Go there, son.
No. This is more like computer terminals that look like that have like TV tubes from the 50s. And the clackety clack kind of keyboards, typewriter keyboards.
So,
Okay, son, I see what you did there, and for that you get a.
I just have one last note that I have to give props to that the show did, and that is the you guys probably saw that the scene where they're fighting through the chaos trying to get to the Ark, and it looks like it's all shot in one go, and I thought that was like incredible. One fight scene to the next, and it's just
one
like
take, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that's glorious. Like you could see where there, like it felt like there was no cuts in it at all. That it was seamless, and the CGI during that whole thing was glorious. And I was getting some serious Majora's Mask vibes at the beginning of this episode. I'm just saying.
Same.
There's your complimentary video game Easter egg for the day.
nice.
I guess I need to watch this episode then, huh?
Yep,
Yes.
you do.
Yes, you do.
The whole series, son.
Greg, what were your thoughts on the episode?
No one else caught the Blade reference?
I don't know any of the Blade movies.
No?
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, I'll get to that one in a second. But my thoughts overall, it was a really good, was the same as everybody else. It was a great episode. I mean, glad to know that when they pruned Loki, we find out he's not actually dead. But the second Ravonna pruned Owen Wilson's Mobius, I was like, no. I was like, wow, that was the first time I really felt hit with the Loki series with it,
Oh,
Mobius,
yeah.
and the look of genuine anguish on Loki's face, like what the hell. I love that they jumped right to the timekeepers. And they jumped right to like, yeah, the timekeepers are bullshit. Ravonna is clearly hiding for the bigger bad of the series. They're portraying her right now as like, oh, she's the bad guy. Well, there's got to be something behind her.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I'm glad it's not. If it's Kang, okay. Glad it's not Mephisto. I agree with Carlos. Doctor Strange has to make an appearance, but not likely.
It's Agatha again. We just
It's Agatha.
It was Agatha all along.
What I mean by the Blade reference is Mobius sits there. He goes, why is there always a demigods? You know, we never have a problem with. I forgot the other two names, but then the third one he goes, and vampires. Why is it the demigods are a pain in the ass? It's the second vampire mentioned in the MCU. Ragnarok, Korg, with his little wooden weapon. Because if you guys have 3 wooden sticks, you fight 3 vampires that are huddled close together. And then now Mobius is the vampire reference. I'm like, okay, it won't happen. But if they got Mahershala Ali to cameo as Blade, there's the vampire thing.
Well, there is at least Sony's working on I can't remember which one.
Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius.
Well,
Yeah,
God.
that should have been out already, but that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But that was the one reference. Like I was like, okay, you know, they're just kind of leading up to the vampire thing. So Morbius and then Blade obviously is coming. But when Loki getting pruned,
Lukey.
I just
Lukey.
Lukey.
oh god,
Go take a lap.
It's because he short and whines a whole hell of a lot. That's why.
So of course Loki being the
knockoff
narcissist,
action figure of Loki.
with Loki being the narcissist he is, of course, about to tell Sylvie, like, yes, I'm in love with you. It's like, okay. I was like, all right, we'll let that one slide. When they pruned him, I'm like, dude, twice in one show? Are you kidding me right now? I'm very, very much looking forward to the 4 Lokis saying, if you want to come with us, if you want to live.
Yes, basically. Yes.
Now, can we all appreciate how this show just does not beat around the bush with
Right.
it? It jumps right in and says, here you are, here you go. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, tough shit, because this is what we're doing to you right now. Oh,
Exactly. With shows like, not to say, Discovery has a couple filler episodes in a 15 episode season. WandaVision had at least 2 in a 9 episode season. Loki's like, no. Second episode, bam, we're resetting the timeline. Here's the Loki. Episode 4, the timekeepers are bullshit. It's like, what the hell else could you
we all figured
do?
the timekeepers were bullshit. From the
Yeah, but we
get-go.
didn't expect them to be
Robots.
Hall of
Yeah.
Presidents animatronics.
Yeah.
Sure.
And my girlfriend Leg kind of called it. She goes, watch, it's going to be a Wizard of Oz man behind the curtain. And sure enough, when the androids died, I'm like, crap, she's right. To a degree, it's like, okay, there's somebody pulling the strings behind the scenes. And now they're making us think it's Ravonna. So we're going to find out that, no, it's not Ravonna, and see who's pulling her strings.
Agreed.
It should be noted that Ravonna does have a relationship with a certain MCU character, Kang the Conqueror.
Really?
Mm-hmm. All right. Greg, any final thoughts?
I think Ravonna was trying to play it, but with the way Sylvie was like, do you remember me? Or she remembers her, but it's like, why did you pull me away or something like that? She goes, oh, I don't remember. That look on her face is, oh, I remember. She's just not going to tell her. So it's like,
that's something we haven't really touched on. We find out when Sylvie was taken by the TVA.
Yeah.
She was,
and it was
at least 8,
Ravonna.
10 years old.
Yeah,
And interestingly, we don't know why. All she was
Still
doing
don't,
was,
right.
yeah, all she was doing was playing with
a ship,
a ship and stuff. So I mean, it was like toys. So what about that was made it a Nexus event?
And fun fact about the child actress. If you're wondering why she did so well portraying a child in fear, 2 things real quick. She hesitated at the robot check. If you look at there, she hesitated to walk through it. And the second one is Judith from The Walking Dead.
Oh, that's right.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, Greg. Travis. And Lane.
Honestly, like when it comes to Loki right now, like I enjoyed the episode, but I don't know if it's my mindset right now, but I just didn't really feel much with this one. I'm not really feeling much with this show, and it might just be my I've never cared for Loki. I never have, never really got the hype behind him, and I just don't have the show isn't really giving me a lot to really get more invested in him. Whereas shows like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they gave me more reasons to be invested in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They they really upped Falcon's game in that show. Loki, I just don't I really don't have much to go on with Loki. And I mean, it's not that I'm unfamiliar with the character. It's just that it feels like they're not doing enough new things with him to really make me invested, I guess. This mischievous character, I guess, just isn't really it's not for me. I've never I might sound like a complete gatekeeper, or no, not gatekeeper, more of just a naysayer right here, but I just don't I don't feel every time an episode ends, I don't feel super excited about next week. This week, I didn't really even have you guys are lucky because I watched both episode 3 and 4 today. Because it was one of those things where it's I should probably watch it for the podcast. And by the time I finished, I was just okay, it was fun, but I mean, I'm going to forget about it tomorrow probably. And I mean, I don't know, it had its moments this week. As many of you have said, when Mobius was pruned, it was an actual bit of I thought that moment was actually really well done. His emotions came through in ways that I didn't exactly see coming, and the fact that he wanted to go to see his previous life, answering the question that the woman had asked, I thought that was actually a really cool touch. But I mean, that's about it.
All right, that's valid, man.
That's good.
All right.
Variant.
Stop it. We're not the TVA. So
Or are we?
I don't think so. So, standout moments. For me, of course, Mobius getting pruned. That was a shock, to be sure. Especially when he pops into the memory prison, which is also my standout moment. Locally, constantly getting slugged in the face, and most of the time needing balls. But nice to know that as Guardians have testicles, apparently, or at least Loki does. He is technically a frost giant, but anyway, Mobius coming in there all gung ho. We've got to take all this down. Mirrored, of course, by Sylvie turning C-24. Of all the Minutemen that they could have turned, I did not expect it to be her. So beautiful bit of narrative choice there. And then having those hopes immediately dashed when they come outside and seeing them all, seeing these forces arrayed in front of them. You think, damn it. And of course, Loki's pruning as well, which was a complete shock and surprise. Just came out of nowhere. Oh, so how about the rest of you guys for standout moments? Let's start with Greg.
Standout moment. It was it was kind of like the last 10 minutes of the show. Basically, Loki getting pruned into, or B-15 coming in and helping them. That Sylvie was able to be like, I'm helping you. Came and helped her. Loki getting pruned. The standout moment is finding out there's 4 more Lokis. That now confirms there's an
At least.
infinite number. There's an infinite number of possibility of Lokis, and so one looks like he's holding a copy of Mjolnir. The other one's in full Loki horn garb, but he looks like he's just way older. And then, of course, Janeway and Paris's child, and then the younger Loki.
We're sticking with that, are we?
I'm actually surprised that we don't have any bootleg Klingons on this bootleg Klingon Loki. I mean, they got everything else. They got the Janeway thing. I mean, they could at least maybe bootleg a Mocklin or something.
It's
Oh, stop it.
Mocklins are not Klingons, not even close.
Come on, Justin!
Not
Justin!
even close.
We
Okay.
literally have a fucking season 3 topic this week. You could have saved it.
Yeah, you could have saved
we
that
can
one.
pull it back out for later.
Well, it's not
Um,
as effective now because
No,
it's
yeah,
not a
it's,
surprise.
no, it's coming.
No, it won't. Sorry,
My
You
Justin.
blew your load already.
You have
Justin,
no
moment
patience.
shame.
You have no patience at all.
Stand-up moment is Loki has accepted that he needs to trust.
Himself? No.
Is this where you chose the moment to
We
freeze?
good?
Trust who?
Oh,
You froze just
You're
like
back.
in the moment.
You're
Pause
back
for
now.
dramatic effect.
You're back now.
Gotta love it.
You're here.
Can Greg hear us
Greg,
anymore?
can you hear us? Your headset, it's broken.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
no. The connection issue.
We know
I was
this.
gonna say the stand-up moment is just
Loki trusts who?
is basically
Spit it out.
Oh, not again!
God dang it,
killing
Petroglyph,
this
too.
ball.
The universe,
Greg,
the universe
Guys.
doesn't want you to know.
guys,
Just
Greg
say the
is
name. Say the name.
Mobius.
Thank you.
guys. Greg was pausing because if he said it, he'd break the sacred timeline.
Well, he's about to get pruned then.
Right?
You might lose me as well. Just saying, because my
Well-
laptop has been having connection issues all week.
Then you go next, Travis.
I mean, standout moments. Mobius getting pruned was definitely one of them. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say. I mean, like I said, it just.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Who's
Yeah,
next?
no problem, man. No
All
problem,
right,
man.
you're good.
Thank you. Raina.
Well, obviously the Lady Sith cameo I really enjoyed. That was pretty fun. But I honestly, the standout moment is just I really like the moment in the beginning when they think everything's coming to an end and Sylvie's explaining where she came from, and it's the most heartbreaking story of feeling like your mere existence is a crime, and I just really fell for her. But also the missing opportunity of this episode. I wanted Mobius to say, "You want to know what I want to do?" I was waiting for him to say, "I want to ride a damn jet ski." I was waiting for him to just say
He
it.
was
before
getting
getting
there.
Pruned, and he didn't.
We may still see that, though. We may still see it.
You know what I have to say that? Wow.
Ah, we see what you did there, Greg.
And Justin.
Can't hear you.
Justin?
You're muted, Justin.
Okay. Mobius getting pruned. That was extremely powerful. Sylvie cameo and Loki getting kicked in the balls repeatedly. That was hilarious. Sorry, I'm gonna take a clip of that, and we're gonna be memes overlaying faces with that. Sorry, Alec. Let's see. Yeah, and Loki. No, I'm not. Loki and Loki action at the end there. Yeah. God, this series.
I thought the
is
Loki and
too
Loki
cheap.
action was at the start of the episode.
Well, we're probably going to be getting more Loki and Loki action. Considering
Hot!
you're in an area populated of multiple Lokis.
Look at all the Lokis.
Yeah, so the Lokis are getting it on.
Like Donkey Kong. All right.
There might be a
Time
Loki
so
Donkey Kong too.
So many
Wait,
Lokis,
you
so
did
little
not ask
time.
me my standout moments.
You were the first one I asked.
Well, you asked for my general reactions.
And
Well, there's two things I want to say. One,
go for it.
is I think that Mobius and Loki hatched a plan while they were in talking, in the little time loop thing when he showed up there. Because remember how he said to him, you can look like anyone or anything. And, and then they cut away to what Sylvie was going on was going on with Sylvie. And I feel like that was the beginning of them doing a plan, hatching a scheme. And then the second thing was, I think that I'm going to disagree a little bit with Travis here. I think in this one episode, we actually saw quite a bit of character development in Loki by virtue of the fact that, just look at how different he was as a result of those repeated Lady Sif beatings. By the end, he's not lying. He's telling the truth.
No,
Loki telling the truth. That's a big deal. Him getting to this place where he could actually call Mobius a friend, that's a big deal. So I'm glad we saw that, and I think that is a portent for important things that are going to happen later. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yes.
All right.
The Navy, weren't you?
Yes. Talk about it often enough. All right. Finally, predictions. Let's. I'm going to mix things up, son. You don't watch it, but based on everything you're hearing from us, what do you think is going to happen next?
Let's see. I still think that Mobius is probably the one behind the curtain, behind the other curtain. So I really do think Mobius is the one pulling the strings this entire time.
Interesting.
And the further the Lokis go and they find that there's another curtain and another curtain, it's starting to look like a Matryoshka doll at this point, So there's a little man inside the box. So I think that at the end of it, we'll probably have Mobius being the main bad guy.
All right, Travis. I know you weren't that enthusiastic about this episode, but do you have any predictions? Okie doke, Greg.
I'm kind of agreeing with Sun, only because I don't know if I said it, but I did kind of think that Mobius was not the bad guy, but I have the feeling that he's been the one pulling the strings. He's a schemer, just like Loki is, but he's kind of ahead of the curve at the same time, calling out Loki's BS. But if I'm going to go with a prediction, Lokis are going to gang up together, and then they're going to take it all down, and then they're going to be the timekeepers. You got six. we have 6 confirmed Loki right now, and then we're gonna see what they do from there.
They're our YouTuber commenter. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that first name. A few episodes there. Thank you. Earlier episode, Loki explained his illusion power to being 2 different things, and that you got a point there. Each Loki has a different type of power.
Right.
So. Who knows? It could be Loki. What if Mobius is Kang?
God, I hope not.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Another way to make that character work.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Okay. So that I know this. Okay, this is probably George territory for all this. Okay, so you're literally talking about. Okay, so we're all talking about all the Lokis have different powers, right? What if the end of this? What if the end of this is the whatever the hell timeline event that starts the Earth chain of events that creates the X-Men?
That's been touched on a couple times. Like this starts the X-Men kind of thing. I've seen that like 3 times.
Damn, son!
Wow.
I don't think so, but that's definitely George territory.
That's what I thought too. That's why I said it.
It would be actually a really disappointing way to introduce the X-Men, I think.
We're dealing with timelines. They all get flung back in time, and some something happens and it's what causes,
I think you're more likely to see hints about where the X-Men come from the Eternals, frankly, than you are here.
Also, regarding like the X-Men and all that, Kevin Feige confirmed. I know they're not directly related, but the Fantastic Four will be the final movie of Marvel's Phase 4. Sorry. So that could be also. They could also probably mention them up to that point.
All right, Reina, do you have any predictions?
I don't know exactly how the show's going to play out or who the bad guy is, but one thing that keeps crossing my mind, I believe that we're going to find out why Sylvie causes a Nexus event everywhere she goes. Is I think that the reason that she was taken in the first place is I think she was always destined to be the one to take the TVA down. I think that it was from the moment she was born that was her destiny. And I think that that's why everywhere she goes where she hasn't,
But then why not prune her? Why not prune her?
They were going to.
Trying.
I
see what Carlos was talking about. Like,
but when they first took her,
right, they could have pruned her right there.
Yeah, they could have pruned her right there. Why didn't they? Instead, they reset and remember. I remember the way that they framed that was a close up of the little whatever it is, the reset bomb, like next to that ship she was playing with.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just because they placed one of them bombs, they've already proven that there doesn't need to be a Nexus event for those to be used. What if it's just a ploy? Because the thing is that did you notice how she hesitated that judge? It was a little girl. If anyone else, you would have been manhandling like that guy there. But she was afraid of a kid. There was a reason that she was afraid of her, and I think that it's because she knew what her destiny was. I think that it had to go that way. I think that she, by resisting as much as she has, I think that's what's actually causing the Nexus events. I really do. I think that her destiny was always get to this one position. And even if Nexus events are created, it was pushing her towards this point. Because something's up with that judge's reaction to her. She seemed genuinely terrified of her. And this was just another variant. This should have been just another variance in her eyes.
Here's an interesting sticking point on that. If the fact that Loki being born a girl wasn't a big enough variation to change the timeline, that it had to be something that happened in that moment, that whatever deviation it was at that point, and not the matter of her conception, her development in the womb, the time of her birth, but something that happened at least at most 10 years down the line before whatever she was caused a Nexus event.
What if that was the moment that she learned her magic?
Or if she was... This is going to be crazy. This is George territory. I think that there is a multiverse already. And that the idea of a sacred timeline is bullshit. Because how else do all these variants come about?
Mm-hmm.
Where are these variants coming from? If there's only one timeline, then there's only one path for these events to take. This Loki came about because of a time travel event that was supposed to happen. Okay, that in storytelling sense makes sense. But where are these other variants coming from if there is only one timeline?
Well, here's a good point. What if Sylvie is Loki Prime?
You know what? Actually, to add on to Ross's and Theron's look at this, what if her mere existence causes Loki variants? Like that, just her existence alone causes every Loki to eventually become a variant.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know exactly what causes Nexus events. We know that Infinity Stones seem to be a cause because they happen all the time, but we don't know specifically why Nexus events occur. what it had if there is one singular sacred timeline, there has to be an outside force acting on that timeline to create a nexus event. It's like ripples in water. They don't occur if the water is still, nothing is acting on it, it remains still. You toss a pebble in there, a gust of wind happens, it creates ripples, it creates a change. If there is just one timeline, there shouldn't be variance. So either there is a multiverse and there is just there is no actual sacred timeline, or there are external forces working on the sacred timeline, or like Sylvie says, the universe needs chaos.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, I actually just thought about this. What if we're looking at this all wrong because it's what the TVA told us?
Yeah.
What if it's
I think that's what I was getting at.
what if it's not causing branches in the terms of like making another multiverse? What if it's just a standard connection to another multiverse? Like a bridge, not creating branches, but a solid bridge to another timeline. Like, maybe there's, we're talking about timelines, how there's one sacred timeline, right? What if there are multiple timelines and they're just worried about them intercepting, and maybe interception points are what create variance?
So the TVA is actually nuking other realities.
Yeah,
that was said in what said in the very first episode, the temporal wars. I know I'm using a Star Trek term, but the multiverse wars that they have. This could be how they prevent multiverse wars, or that the timeline that the TVA is in, they're the superpower and they're nuking all these other branches, so they remain the level one.
What if TVA is Kang?
What?
I think we're really onto something.
No, I think we are onto something here. My feeling, based on what Sylvie said, which is, the universe needs chaos, is when she said that, my impression was the multiverse is there. It's looking to bust out of this straitjacket that the TVA has put it in, and so I think that's essentially going to be the end game for the TVA.
Well, I mean,
I think Greg is taking it a little too far. They're not like nuking alternate timelines. They're nuking the doorways between timelines.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think our timeline is completely connected. Maybe the TVA's mere existence is what keeps us from going in and out of those doorways openly.
I don't think
variance could just be the process of these bridges.
No, they're definitely not.
No, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's beneficial to the timeline to have these timelines intercepting, learning, and getting past obstacles. Where one timeline can't get past a certain obstacle, maybe another can. They're preventing these doorways and interactions between them. Variance may just be those interaction points.
Which goes back.
I think that we're looking at it as, because they're telling us that they cause bridges, like they cause branches that need to be clipped. But I think, what if it's been broken for a long time, and maybe they're actively just trying to close doorways that have already been there. They're already broken. They're already busted. Because you got to think, we're talking about Thanos wasn't the first one with the stones. These things have been flying around constantly, causing chaos.
One of them is literally the time stone.
Yeah,
one of the Infinity Stone's purpose is to manipulate time.
I don't think there's one singular timeline. I think that's how they're going to explain this crap with like Spider-Man and things like that, and like how we're getting X-Men and all kinds of stuff. What if that timeline is still going, but it's just parallel to this MCU? They're trying to clip that. They're trying to keep that branch. Or not branch, but that doorway closed. And once that doorway opens, anything's coming through.
Well, a lot of your speculation makes sense to me, Rena, except for the whole doorway idea. Moving from branches to doorways, I think is a leap that I don't think is supported by what we've seen. But in general, I think you're right. They are trying to control things, prevent a multiverse from happening. So there's definitely something in that direction going on.
We're all ignoring the MacGuffin. I mean, what if it is Kang pulling the strings?
We just as much as people are talking about it, there's currently no actual evidence of Kang. It's
only
just
thing that
the
I've
thing
seen-
people are drawing to. Just like people were talking about Mephisto in
in
WandaVision.
WandaVision, exactly. And it didn't
and
happen.
everything
Ross,
else.
the only thing I got to say, Easter egg wise, that explains maybe some of how this is all working that I had noticed is Kang is supposed to be the bad guy in this new Ant-Man movie, right?
Mhm.
Well, do you guys notice that everything in the TVA runs on something that looks like quantum energy? Like literally the same color, same particle effects. Everything is like, and it looks
Thank you.
very much like they're using quantum energy in their 10 packs and things like that to get from one place to another.
Interesting.
We'll have to take a look at the special effects for that.
Like if you guys go back and watch Endgame and see like when they time travel and the colors specifically used in the particle effects, like it looks very much like how 10 packs and things are. Like the colors that the TVA specifically uses in their devices, it looks very similar to that.
Okay.
And if you know Marvel movies, they're very particular about.
And quantum energy is the only thing we have to explain time travel so far.
That's true.
Besides the time stone.
Well, and the
And not
time
to mention
stone,
the
which
energy.
is definitely which is green.
And remember, they said it takes a lot of energy to run those portable time travel devices. So quantum energy.
All right.
Okay,
That's
so I thought of something because of what Theron just said. What if they're running out of a time stone? The TVA is like running from like all of that stuff is running off of a time stone. Like
interesting idea.
like you know, they talk about having the other stones like candy and stuff. Well, sure you would if you're constantly screwing with time,
Ooh.
right?
Or, I mean, it would take the Infinity Stones to cancel out the power of other Infinity Stones. Would it not?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
and that's
I'm not sure that's been
That-
established.
you know what? There is a higher power at work though, and that's what proves it is that none of those stones actually work at all. And only something super powerful could stop that from working.
there
Unless
was,
those stones aren't real at all.
there was a time stone in that drawer of Infinity Stones.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Just one or more than one? Do you
There were
remember?
a couple, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of the guy
Well,
that
sure,
played
but
Rutherford and Lower Decks was just
Yeah,
like,
but
yeah,
Loki,
we used to use
remember,
the paperweight.
He acknowledged that the Tesseract wasn't working in the TVA when he had tried it. He tried to use the space stone. He's like, this
Yeah.
isn't working.
The
Only
Infinity
something
Stones
super
that were-
strong.
Magic doesn't
What if
work.
the TVA is ran by the being that was in the stones? I'm just saying. Weren't the stones a sentient being that split into five matters in the universe or whatever?
No,
Or is
it
that
was-
a comic thing only?
No,
I
they
think that's a
were
comic.
they were the results of this of the explode of the Big Bang from the singularity that formed the universe.
Okay, for some reason I thought they were sentient. For some reason I don't know why I thought that.
All right. Any final thoughts as we move on to our next review?
It's good.
Already an hour and 17 minutes in on this.
Well, minus the pre-show.
17.
Yeah. All right. That wraps up Loki episode 4. It's going to be an exciting wait for episode 5. And a couple side notes as we move along. Apparently, Loki and Bart Simpsons are teaming up for a Disney Plus shorts.
Oh,
That's going
God.
to be fun.
Yep.
And Loki is apparently coming to Fortnite because everybody is.
So,
Apparently, Fortnite is canon in the MCU.
so wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Loki and Bart Simpson are teaming up, and they're not going to eat shorts. Okay.
Well,
That we know of.
they're both gods of mischief, so it makes sense.
We need Loki to be the new Stan Lee
Ooh.
cameo.
What if Bart Simpson's
Just have a
Loki
Loki
variant?
in every MCU movie in the background.
Come on. You have a regular Simpsons opening, and it's Loki who's writing on the chalkboard.
I I will not mess with the
I will
sacred
not mess with
timeline.
the timeline.
There's a Loki on everything.
I just think it's interesting that I mean, Marvel and DC obviously think that Loki resonates with their audience to the degree that he's showing up everywhere.
Well, thank Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I think he has a lot to do with it.
He's a fantastic actor, and he knows how to play to a crowd. He is just as charismatic as the character he portrays.
Devilish.
I don't even remember if there was any outcry when they killed Loki off in the Endgame. Was there anybody that complained about it?
Well,
I
no,
understand.
because we saw that a different Loki escaped. So no.
I will say theater opening night had the whole audience gasp at one time where I was in the theater. So
Emma, I think you're right.
All right. Now, on to our second review of the night, the latest episode of The Bad Batch. The veil is finally lifting, and the galaxy at large is beginning to see who the Empire really is, at least in the Outer Rim.
Spoiler alert!
Yes, I will be stepping aside so I don't get spoiled. So just wave at me when it's time to come back.
Justin, no.
He hit the wrong button. Come on.
Alert. So, fresh off their rescue of Omega, the Bad Batch returns to their home base where they're given a new job to rescue a separatist senator on the former capital world of the Confederacy of Independent Planets, or Confederacy of Independent Systems, where the Empire has established an occupying outpost. We briefly see the senator who represented that planet initially comply with the Empire, but then in a speech rebels and is taken captive. The Bad Batch are contracted to go and rescue him, and out of concern of Omega's well-being now that she's being tracked by two different bounty hunters, to their knowledge, they leave her behind on Ord Mantell with what was her name? The broker that they work for.
I know who you're talking
Sid?
about.
Sid, thank
Sid?
you. They leave her with Sid, much to her disappointment.
I love Sid.
Yes, she's great. So the job goes about as well as it usually does, starting out flawlessly and then going south very fast. They claim their rescue, they make their escape, and meanwhile, Omega ends up making up a killing, being a bit of a ringer in a strategy game. I forget the name. I know the game has a name, but I don't remember what it is. Anybody?
I was going to say Stratagem, but that's a Star Trek name.
Stratagema.
Yeah, that. You know what
Dejeric.
Apparently, Omega is a whiz when it comes to strategy, and she ends up winning enough money to pay off everybody's debt to Sid. Until Omega and Wrecker end up racking up a huge bill on Mantell mix again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so the most notable scene for me, I'll just get it out of the way now, was that opening scene where as I said, the veil of the Empire lifts and the people begin to see who they really are. As unrest rises in the city, the walkers move in, the clones move out, and the people see the Empire for what it truly is. So let's start with Travis. You didn't like Loki this time. What'd you think of the Bad Batch?
He loved it.
This was actually one of the more episodes for me.
Okay.
Damn, I was wrong.
That said, I'm going to say that Ross, you're wrong.
Okay.
The best standout moment was the moment immediately after the Empire moves in on the planet, and we see Wrecker and Omega enjoying their Mattel mix because that big brother little sister relationship will never get old. Now, I didn't dislike this episode. I thought it was, it was enjoyable, and it had some very fun, like it had some really cool concepts. I really like the idea of the Bad Batch being hesitant to go to this world that was once considered an enemy world. This was a separatist world, and they are very, like, they see separatists as the enemy. Even though the war is over, they feel that there's discomfort there in helping somebody who is asking for help against the new enemy. And like that, I thought that was just a really cool, subtle detail, because it shows that while they are, they know that the Empire is the new problem and it's their priority, there is still this animosity against the old enemy, the separatists, and seeing them, like, just seeing this hesitation to go there, and even this, like,
hostility
at just having no choice in the matter to take this job and help this guy. Like, there's some heated moments between the Bad Batch and this senator, and there's a lot of real, like, ironically enough, when Star Wars droids are on the center screen, are taking, like, when the focus goes to Star Wars droids, I tend to find myself more annoyed than anything. I actually kind of dug this droid that was, helping the Bad Batch out. The fact that they just realize, like, well, most people seem to think droids are annoying. Let's make this droid annoying and make it helpful at the same time. And I thought it was like, this droid's actually kind of cool. Like, that, I like how they handled the droid. It wasn't as annoying as the Clone Wars whenever C-3PO was out, and like, yeah, this, like, it was a good episode. Not one of the strongest, again, because it did kind of feel like kind of fillery, like sort of like episode 2, if I remember correctly. But I mean, it wasn't terrible. This is a good, maybe 6 or 7 out of 10 episode if I had to give it a rating. But yeah, like, it was good, not great.
Okay. Raina, what'd you think?
I actually agree with Travis on this one. It's a mediocre episode. It's not bad, because Bad Batch is kind of like, even their worst episodes are still somewhat entertaining. The one thing I liked is the mention of Raxus, because I'm starting to get into the Star Wars novels, and I just read Dooku recently, and that actually touches on Raxus. And one of the things that the show did really well is, in that book, they talk about it a lot, because they were like, well, why would a town follow the separatists knowing they're kind of like the adversary, right? But they were given a choice, and they were well funded for having free will, where the Empire's like, you're doing this our way, like, suck it up, this is the way it is now. And I really like how they kind of touched on that, where it's like, the Empire has a clever way of making it seem like you have choice when you have nothing. And they did a really good job in showing that. But yeah, it was kind of filler. It was kind of like, I really felt like it was one of those episodes where it was like, we need to explain a reason how they get their debt cleared with Sid. Okay, now make a plot elsewhere while that's getting settled. And it felt very much like that to me. But I kind of like the snarky banter between Sid and Omega. Like, those scenes were the highlight for me, because, like, she gives it to Sid, and Sid is just, like, kind of thrown off that someone is matching her snark, and it just makes the whole every scene just funny. But I felt like the scenes in Raxus were just boring, like in their action set pieces, which is surprising. But they had little standout moments though, and mine was I actually like where Hunter's like, okay, we need to get on the other side of that door. Well, we could if Omega was with us. They're so used to having her with now that they've kind of. It's funny that Hunter kind of felt like that she was relying on them, but it's more like they've been relying on her a lot lately. So it's kind of nice to see that they're valuing that her potential to the team, now. But the whole episode was okay. I think it was just more to touch on like the more of the state of the Empire transition, but this was like one of the least interesting bits of it. I found honestly the switch of currency more interesting. But it's okay. I would say it's a solid 6 out of 10. It's not bad. It's just I hate filler episodes so bad. Like it doesn't matter what show it is. Like if it's filler, it's just like it's so annoying. I don't want my shows to feel weebish where it's like there's 10 filler episodes of a training arc that I don't really need to see. Just get to the point. But it's still a good show. I did like the scenes with Sid and Omega, though, because Sid has become one of my favorite characters, and I'm channeling the hell out of her snark lately. So,
well, now you all know how Greg feels when he talks about those Mandalorian episodes of this series.
He's in love with Grogu. He's in love with Grogu.
Travis, was that a beer?
It's root beer.
Speaking of, we lost Greg.
I can't drink.
He was having connection
Oh
issues.
no, I can't pick on him live. No, this is unacceptable.
Justin, how about you?
I agree with Travis and everybody else in this. I thought the episode was a little bit slow. It had some standout moments, like the whole Omega earning her keep and paying off the guy's debt. It just seemed like it was there to explain a stepping point to the rest of the story, which, I mean, most shows have these. We all see everybody has a filler episode. It's okay for what it is. It wasn't my favorite of the show in the series so far. But yeah, the Walker scene was telling. We figured it. We all, figured out what was going to happen as it was going on. It was like, we know we're going to get away. I mean, they're trying to make it like, oh no, they're not going to get away. We know they're going to get away. It was very predictable on how it turned out. But the droid was awesome. I hope that was a different type of droid, I think, that we've seen in the Star Wars universe so far.
Justin, when did you lose your love for life?
Last week.
During the pre-show.
just the passion is all gone. We know how they're getting out. Well, of course, that's the main characters. They got plot armor. Come on.
But I mean,
it's all about the moments.
I mean, the episode itself was
journey,
okay.
not the destination.
The episode was okay, yes, but I mean, it's a filler episode. It felt like a filler episode. I don't know how else to describe it. It really felt like a filler episode.
Speaking of plot armor, the lack of such is why I hate Tomb Raider so much.
Yeah. Son, you're going to have to give me a full recap after the show of your experience.
Okay, I still have to clip that whole fucking 5 minutes from Sunday I spent just ranting after one of the characters dies. Because he literally could have saved himself.
I love watching Son play this game. It's my highlight.
Maybe I should. I'm going to have to remember to link Son that YouTube video of just one of the absolute, like, I hate changing the subject. I'm sorry.
I already did
That's
it.
what we do here.
I
Sean
already
already
did
beat
it.
us to it. Thank God. Because it was going nowhere fast.
But, like, I'll have to send her a link to this YouTube video of this Twitch broadcast of one of the Twitch people I follow. And he was playing Minecraft for the very first time.
Oh my God.
He was talking about this Minecraft player named Dream, and I guess he was
yes,
addressing
yes, yes,
some
cheater.
scandal.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
So that's a speed run controversy,
mhm.
and Dream was using a program that he wasn't supposed to.
Oh,
and
Travis-
Body wasn't supposed to.
he didn't realize that it was still active in his setup. So yeah.
he sent this video to me of this streamer. And he has like a adorable otter avatar, and he's losing his mind trying to explain. Well, there's moons and eclipses, and how Dream couldn't have cheated. And I'm just like, he's so adorable trying to explain all this, and he's getting confused in his own chaos. It's glorious.
It's amazing.
It's wholesome, is what it is.
What you're saying is cute otter gets confused. More
Yes.
at 11.
It's adorable.
It's,
No,
wanna
you know
feel
what?
that.
it's
Son, you need. I'm
It is
sorry.
10 minutes worth your time. You will never stop watching. It's just like, it's this, picture this like wholesome, wonderful train just cruising along, and someone sets a quarter on the train tracks, and it sets off the most bizarre, beautiful train wreck that just keeps getting more and more intense, and you want to stop watching, but you just can't. That's what this video is.
Okay, I understand those because I've caused them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna say though, I want Sun to do a gaming sins video of her saying everything wrong with Tomb Raider.
Oh God.
That
Be
I-
hours.
Oh my
We'll be there
God.
for hours.
I'm telling you, I'm just saying I would totally pay to see
Oh my
that.
God.
I mean, if you thought a Super Geek
That would-
3-hour run was bad, that would be
that-
a 5-hour run.
That would require me watching all of the cutscenes for Tomb Raider over again, and I'm already ranting enough. Like, just watching it for the first fucking time.
Do you want to
So
call us a
anyway,
Nexus event, Raina? Don't let her do that.
So, anyway, back to the Bad Batch.
Please.
I'm
Basically,
sorry
this
for
was an
deviating
exposition
off course
episode.
there, Captain.
No,
weren't
you're
the
not.
one- you weren't the one that deviated. I was.
Yeah, she did me whenever off of mine. Yeah, it's okay.
Let's
It
let
was-
him finish, please.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm done. Go. Whoever's next, go.
Oh,
Travis, you were finishing your thought?
I mean, there wasn't anything to say. I was just saying. So anyway, back to the Bad Batch.
All right. Right, that's everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
Carlos
we don't-
hasn't seen
yeah,
us.
we
Seen it. We lost Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, go down the hole.
All right. Standout moments. I've already shared mine. You guys, do you guys even have any aside from? Because you seem to be less enthused about this episode.
Seems like a filler episode. That's
Like,
Like
I
a
mean,
f-
the action, the story itself just wasn't very oomph. It lacked the oomph. There was no there really wasn't much of a reason to really get invested here. Like last week, there was a reason to get invested because Cad Bane had Omega. There was a really intense showdown. Here, it was just like the Bad Batch leaves Omega here. They go off to rescue some senator that isn't relevant to the plot, like the main plot.
Yep.
yeah.
They come back. Omega has paid off their debt. See you next week. It's like it again. It wasn't bad. It was just there.
Okay, so don't think of this as a filler episode. Think of it as a breather episode after all of the action that happened last week.
I guess you can say that. It was just one of those things where it was like, I mean, yeah, you got like I said, the droid was fun. But I mean, that was about it. Like, I didn't really care about the senator. I mean, they did their best to show that he was concerned for the people and that he felt wrong leaving them. But I mean, it was just one of those things where it's like, I mean, it just doesn't stand out.
I think that you're placing emphasis on the wrong point of the episode. Ross has one point of the episode, and Raina has the other point of the episode. the war crimes of the Empire, or well, the just mass slaughtering of people by the Empire. I mean, it's not really a war. And the paying off of all of their debts is easily accomplishable by Omega. Like,
I mean,
and she doesn't even have to like hack or slice anything to steal credits or shit.
I mean, the
She's
thing with
just
the Empire
hustling.
is the thing with the Empire is just the opening scene, and the thing with Omega is literally the B plot of the episode. It doesn't take that much focus. So I mean,
And sadly, it's still more interesting.
yeah,
than
I
what
mean, it is
they're
more
up to
interesting.
in Raxus.
It's more interesting, but I mean, the fact that it's like it's not the main focus is why I'm saying like this just really isn't as immersive as an episode, you know?
It's kind of like all the secondary characters in Tomb Raider being more interesting than the story that's going on with Lara Croft.
Oh, I think they're all idiots in that game.
Oh my god.
All right. Greg, your reaction on the episode and key moments.
Okay, so now that I'm back, internet issues. Overall, the impressions of the episode was it was a good one. I'll use Sun's wording. It was a breather episode, but I still very much enjoyed it because it was more of a. It's downplayed, but it was them leaving Omega behind. It's kind of like a, hey, we can't risk your life anymore. It doesn't matter that you're okay with us risking your life. Is that they don't want to be responsible in case something bad does happen to her again. As I can tell you right now, Hunter feels 100% responsible for Cad Bane getting a hold of her. So his leaving her behind is like, hey, you know what, kid, we got this. And I was going to start to point off earlier, and I forgot, but I was like, I did enjoy the Bad Batch A team. No job they won't refuse. But it was overall a good episode. The impression was Hunter's gonna have to deal with Omega. Like Omega's like, no, she basically put her foot down, like, I'm gonna come with you. That's why he's playing that game against her. He knows she's gonna win, but he's giving her that chance, like, okay, you know what? You can come with us from here on out if you beat me. Of course, we're not gonna see her beat him. But I do also like Sid being like, yeah, you can't trust me, but you still owe me money, so you're gonna go pay off your debt. The key moment is at the very end where Omega's like, where Hunter chastises her, and even Sid's like, dude, that was just not cool. So Hunter and her are gonna do fine, and I mean, I'm gonna say this: every episode that doesn't have Crosshair coming after them is a filler episode.
All right. Predictions.
What are we? Where are we in? Was episode 10?
Yeah, I didn't get to do my standout moments.
Oh,
you didn't?
go ahead, Rayna.
Go.
Oh, I was going to say the only thing that really stood out to me that I really, really, really enjoyed about this episode is that it kind of seems like this team has no charisma without Omega. There's like, they feel very humorless, and I understand that they're soldiers, but it's like, yeah, these guys aren't really fun without Omega. I miss Omega. Can we get Omega back? Like, I feel like that's how I felt this whole episode. I just had to say that because I was so bored. The whole time, I was so bored. And
I kind of relate there. Like, I love the Bad Batch.
And I will say the city, I think it had something to do with this because the whole time I was watching it, Raxus just looks like a boring city. It looks so generic. There's nothing really special or stand out about it. It looks like every other city, and it looks so boring.
You know, not to put too fine a point on. I know it's CGI, but I was like, for a split second, it's like, wow, they're on Naboo. Wait, that's not Senator Amidala.
if there wasn't that tank segment at the end, I probably would have been asleep. If I'm being honest, I was just so disconnected from it.
I kind of skipped through it. Being honest, I skipped through it because it was that boring.
but to give into what Sun is saying, like that is it. If you watch the beginning of the episode, you do not need to watch any of it past the first 5 minutes, and you leave with everything you need to know.
Pretty much.
Other than the fact that the debt is paid, which you'll probably find out in the next episode when they
for now,
remind you that
who knows, that Senator might play a key part. I'm with Ross. Like, for now.
Yeah, like freaking, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, Ray. It's
Literally.
I love the Bad Batch as characters. I mean, like, they were fun to follow in the four episodes they were in the Clone Wars, and I love what they've done with them here. But yeah, this episode didn't really make them stand out the best, and whether that was because the story just wasn't as interesting, or the setting of Raxus wasn't that interesting, or Omega just took a lot of the charm away. Like, it just, there was something definitely missing that the other episodes have. I mean, even episode 2 had more here, I believe, than this episode.
Yeah, episode 2 was another kind of me.
And I mean, like, it just, I'm hoping that next week can pick it up a bit.
Sorry, Charles, I didn't mean to
I don't have
interrupt you
any
there.
new predictions this week because, I mean, this episode didn't really give too much for it to go on. So,
Yeah, not to interrupt you, Charles. Sorry, but I don't know. Maybe that's the point. This is what happens when they don't have Omega. They're just soldiers. They're literally because Hunter almost literally told Omega, "Good soldiers follow orders," because he told her just be a good soldier. There had to have been purposely put in there where he almost blurted out, "You good soldiers follow orders." It's like, oh, that was close. So I think the point of the episode was, they don't have Omega. That's all they are. They're just good soldiers doing their job. And at this point, they're not soldiers; they're mercenaries. So they got hired to do the job, went in and did it successfully, and then they're out. No, like he said, no charisma. There's not much humor, and because if the Omega had been there, Echo trying to fix something would have been funnier. But it's like, how much longer you need? And they're obviously in distraught. So it's like, there's no humor there. Just get the job done.
Well, also keep in mind that Hunter's a soldier. The only way he knows how to deal with people is as a squad leader.
Yeah.
He cares about her deeply, but when it comes to discipline, he only knows military discipline.
it is a learning process for him. Like,
Yep.
Wait, no, it wasn't episode 2 that was mediocre. It was episode 3, wasn't it? Because episode 2, they went to that deserter's home, and that clone actually told them that, like, raising a child was a whole other ballpark when compared to what they are used to. So yeah, it wasn't episode 2 that was meh. It was the one with the creature and the power source, whatever episode that was. So
We'll have to do at the end of when Bad Batch is over the season. We'll have to do worst episodes of the season.
Much like we did with the Orville.
So
Hey,
I
whoa.
have a prediction.
Let's hear it.
So I think that the whatever the guy was, the leader of the planet, is probably going to use whatever resources he has left after the massacre and whatever resources he may obtain from the planet, if he's still in any remote kind of control of it, to fund the rebellion.
That is something I was thinking of as well.
yeah,
I kind of got that hint.
I mean, we talked about at the beginning of this series where the Empire is trying to line item cut costs and shit, and you're like, well, then how the hell does a rebellion form with like all of these X-wing fighters and these brand new looking speeders, that they're trying to adapt for Hoth and shit? And it's like, yeah, that shit costs money.
Hey Ross, can I just say that it's funny that I was so against the idea of a Force user being on the show, but it's like after this episode now, I'm really hoping one just shows up.
Well, now we know that we know what Omega's special power is. She is a master strategist, and she's finally able to flex those muscles a little bit, and who knows where that's going to take them.
like I said, I'm pretty certain that, I am fairly certain that she is going to meet Boba, and I believe I'm still of the mindset that, with them being brother sister technically, she is, slowly starting to realize that, she can she knows she knows a lot of old tricks that Django likely knew, and strategy probably being one of them, and I'm curious to see what else might pop up, if that makes sense.
All right. Any other predictions? Rana?
Normally, I mean,
I come on, man. I don't have predictions, but it's like, come on, just bring us back to more Crosshair stuff, or geez, just get gutsy. Give us a Cal Kestis reference again. I like when you throw those in. They don't. I swear they don't like Fallen Order. They're like, oh, the fans want us to acknowledge it. Just put an Easter egg here, but never show them anything. That'll show them. It's just so annoying because it's like Fallen Order is so good.
Greg, how about you?
I mean, we really need to see Crosshair back on their tail, because not that the show is dull, but the show gets considerably more exciting and pulse pounding when Crosshair is like, when they're going to basically, when they brought him back in to come track him down. Yeah, he's burnt up, so he's clearly had time to heal now. So they're going to send him back out.
Let's throw him in that Bacta tank.
I feel, yeah, exactly. I feel though this season's probably going to end with them either losing Omega, or something. The season's not going to end well. Like, they're either going to beat Crosshair, Wrecker dies, or they lose a Crosshair and then Omega's gone. This season's not going to end well for him. Sorry,
right.
Travis. I didn't mean to single out Wrecker, Travis. I'm just throwing it out there.
What's that?
Justin, how about you?
This one didn't really give too much to go on for next episode, so I'm hoping Crosshair back with vengeance. Something might happen to Sid. It would seem like Sid's simply trying to be a good person, and I don't know, just got that vibe that somebody after this episode. Quite possible. Other than that, yeah, I don't really have much else to go on. My George prediction is something's going to happen instead.
So, the Empire is known for making examples. So this massacre has probably been recorded and is going to start being filtered throughout the galaxy of don't turn against us, even though they were literally an occupying force on the planet already. And I think this is what's going to stop most planets probably from just outright refusing the Empire.
I can see that happening.
It's very possible.
I mean, could you imagine the footage of Alderaan blowing up if the Death Star had actually survived in the first fucking place? And the whole galaxy just sees Alderaan explode, and it's like, yeah, no, their planet leader was a rebel. This is what we'll do to get the rebels.
Well, that was the point of the Death Star.
But nobody knew its power, and showing the explosion of Alderaan would have demonstrated its power.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, yeah.
All right, did I miss anybody?
Just Carlos, but he wasn't here for the episode.
Yeah,
so.
we can wave him back in now. Carlos, hey.
Carlos.
Lane
Lane is running away, Carlos.
Lane won't shut up.
Omega
Don't
can
come
catch the
back
slightest
in,
detail in
Carlos.
people, like how she was able to tell who Sid was right off the bat.
So she's got strong intuition and good strategy. So
Yeah.
that falls in line.
Lane, stop. Carlos is coming. He's not. He doesn't want to be spoiled.
Oh, Travis, hold them up. Have Lane
Yeah, have Lane wave him in.
Lane's eyes upon me.
There you go.
It
It actually worked. Holy shit! It just Lane.
Carlos back
Hi, Lane. Hi, Lane.
Lane was going through Carlos withdrawals. Look at that.
All right. So that wraps that up. That wraps up our reviews for the week. Thank you guys for contributing your thoughts and opinions on each of those. And now we move into the story segments of the show. First up, continuing on with our Disney Marvel type news, Black Widow is almost out, right?
Next week.
It's not already out?
Next week.
July 9th.
And the reviews
Yay.
are coming in. And so far, overall, they seem to be about average what's the MCU gets. Good theater fare that takes you on an adventure, but nothing, groundbreaking as far as cinema goes. So, are you guys looking forward to Black Widow? Are you going to go see it in theaters, or are you going to wait till you can watch it online?
I'll go first if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd love to see it in theaters, but the theaters here, our state, New Mexico, just opened up 100%. Like the government's like, hey, it's up to you. It's up to the businesses now. Not sure if I'll see it in there because the theaters here are looking pretty not openy. I'd love to see it. The pandemic kind of killed the hype for me as much as like I would have gone to see Fast and Furious day one. The pandemic killed that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Black Widow. I'm looking forward to my only gripe with Black Widow is if I don't get to see what happened in Budapest, then I don't want none of that. I don't want to deal with it. I know it's supposed to take place in between Civil War and Infinity War. I was like, we got to know what happened in Budapest. I'll talk about the early reviews though. There were a few I saw. I think Screen Rant was one saying that it's one of the better Marvel movies, one of the top in the last decade. I'm like, that's a tall ladder to climb because you got Ragnarok, you got Iron Man, you got Endgame to tackle. So I'm not saying Scarlett Johansson can't do it, but I mean, this is her solo outing, so definitely looking forward to it. And her statement is what actually got me kind of like sad. Not that we all knew, but she did say she goes like Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans was like, yeah, I'm done with the character. By the way, it's like, ow. It's like we know you died, but ow. So I'll probably try to see it in the theater. But I either way, I'm going to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. Reina.
I was weird about this one because it was like so after I told you guys after Endgame I kind of had a weird thing where I felt like I was so dried up on Marvel for a while. Like once you hit your pinnacle, like the shows that draw me back in, and I was getting some serious like Winter Soldier vibes, which is one of my favorite MCU movies by far. And I love Taskmaster, so it's like that's like the perfect villain for her to fight. But I don't know. I'm not gonna go see it day one like I usually would with Marvel. I'm probably just gonna wait when I can do the $5 days because after they've been out for a couple weeks at my theater, they have like a $5 thing on Tuesdays where it's
Same
like movies that have been out more than 2 weeks. They're like $5 a ticket. That's probably when I'll go see it. I wasn't really stoked about it. Like I'm more stoked about like Doctor Strange and the new Spider-Man. Like Black Widow, it's kind of like one of those things that it killed me because now that she's gone and dead, I know this sounds crazy, but I think that actually hurts the film coming out because we know where it ended up. So it's like, what's the point? We know where her story ended, and I feel like that
easy, Ross.
And that's
what
I'm
did
saying,
I just say?
Yeah. And I agree. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have, like, what are they going to tell me that I haven't already seen? Like, I'm going to go see this, pay the $5 to see the end credit scene. That's what I'm going to see it for.
My thing is, sorry, Brandon, but just my thing with Black Widow, it's not the movie itself. It's too late. Not pandemic
Yeah.
too late. I mean, it should have been out before Endgame too late. But
Can I just say that my idea that this movie coming out should have been right before Black Panther?
yes,
That's when this movie should have came out. This movie is too late. Unless you have something really mind-blowing at the end credits, which after seeing Spider-Man, we sure as hell know that is probably not going to happen. And they're not going to do anything big until after these shows have finished their initial premieres.
right.
Doctor Strange is going to be the big bring-in event. Black Widow feels like filler arc for the MCU. That's what it is. It's they're filling the time till Doctor Strange, and that's what I feel like. The shows to me capture my interest more than this movie did. Like when they announced WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like these shows seemed more interesting in premise. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Scarlett Johansson's a great character, like a great person, a great actress, and the character of Black Widow is really awesome, but I don't feel like she can hold a film up. I really don't as a character. I don't feel, and that's why she's got 9 other chicks roaming around with her in the trailer, because I don't feel she has the charisma to carry alone. She just doesn't. And that's probably just me, but it's going to be okay. MCU films, I always say, their worst ones are still entertaining watches. So you're not really going to be disappointed if you're going in looking for a stupid action flick.
All right, Son.
Well, first I have to ask a question. What the hell is this drivel from Time? Holy shit!
What?
Okay, so I assume Carlos is the one who put all of the articles here for this one, and this article from Time literally just starts off with complaining about Iron Man, not Scarlett Johansson. Or Black Widow. It's literally just complaining about Iron Man. It's like, yeah, no shit, because Tony Stark was like a sexist asshole at the beginning of the Iron Man films who thought women were a piece of meat because he was another millionaire playboy dude. What does that have to do with Black Widow other than he wanted a piece of her? And it's like, no, I don't.
Well, I think the point of the article was that was sort of an inauspicious and sexist beginning, first look at the character. And from that point, Scarlett Johansson has turned her into, a much bigger deal for Marvel.
From eye candy to eye candy that'll kick your ass if you look at her wrong.
But that literally happened in that film. Like,
true.
There was the whole sexist thing of, hey, get up here, sweetie. I'll show you how to box. Gets his ass handed to him. And it's like,
yeah, but I'm not talking about just her being badass. I'm talking about like her character development. Like by the time we see her in Infinity War and Endgame, shit's happened to her, and you can see it in like her hair, her eyes, the way she speaks. And that's what I'm hoping this movie will illuminate, even though in large measure I agree with Raina, which is I don't know why they decided to put it out.
Yeah.
After those movies.
If I may,
it was delayed the first time. Then they pushed it back because they needed Miss Marvel to complete their whole Endgame bullshit. Or whatever her name is, Captain Marvel, to complete their whole Endgame bullshit. So they pushed it back again. And then from there, I just lost count of them delaying the damn film. That's the problem.
I was say, touching on Carlos's point with her character arc, the Black Widow we see in Iron Man 2 would not sacrifice herself the way she did in Endgame. Like how you said so much has happened to her. Those are two, they are Black Widow, but those are two completely different people at that point.
Well, I mean, for fuck's sake, Tony Stark isn't who he was in the first Iron Man.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like Carlos is actually right about that, because obviously something happens in this movie that's big. That would be the only way they can explain. Because even look at her in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She is snarky. She is just absolutely all about me in that movie. And don't get me wrong, like you could tell, like she's more
You
showboaty
mean-
until
You
later
mean
on.
Winter Soldier?
You mean Winter Soldier?
Yeah,
You
Winter
said
Soldier.
Falcon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I see that show is so good it's stuck in my brain. But
Nice save.
no,
Nice
like,
save, Raina.
It's Captain America
Captain
and the Winter
America.
Soldier.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier, she is so showboaty that whole damn movie that it's unreal. But like she feels like a completely different character by the time like not even Endgame has happened, like the snap or anything, but Infinity War, she feels like the mother of the group. She went from like the snarky little sister that will kick
Well,
anyone's
I think you
ass
can
and
thank.
show
I
off.
think you can thank Civil War for that. I mean,
Yeah.
this happens between Civil War and Infinity War, and I think what you see she goes through, and she becomes a fugitive after that. I think that changes a lot of the way she looks at the world and her fellow Avengers.
I don't know. I feel like it's too late. I feel like I'm being cynical of this movie, and I can't help it because of how Marvel is releasing it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, Raina, on that note. But I'm going to see it. I'm going to give it a shot. It will probably be the first movie that I see in a theater since the pandemic. So July 9th, I'll be there.
Yeah, me and you, Carlos. That'll be me. I haven't seen a movie since before the pandemic as well.
I can't even remember what the last movie I saw.
I think Endgame was the last movie I saw in theater.
You're probably right. Honestly,
Detective
you
Pikachu.
might be right.
It could
Rise
have been
of
Detective
Skywalker.
Pikachu.
That's it. Thank you, Ross.
I hate to admit it, but Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah, I probably saw Rise of Skywalker.
You poor soul.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
Poor
Greg.
thing.
I mean, if this is a competition, I've got you all beat because I've
no.
not gone to a theater in fucking years. So
But guys, you're missing the point. Pickled Snoke on the big screen.
Let's train.
Pickled
I'm just
Snoke.
saying. You guys don't like pickled Snoke? Come on.
Anyway,
I thought it was hilarious.
Travis.
I guess I'll be kind of a cynic here. Like, I haven't even seen a trailer for this movie.
Really?
Yeah, like I haven't really gone out of my way for it. And again, I'm not the biggest Marvel guy. Like, I'm trying to get more into it. Like, especially at like Civil War and Guardians of the Galaxy really started to stoke my interest back in the day. And it got me into like watching the MCU finally because I did not pay attention to this universe in a while. But I mean, after Endgame, I feel this similar like kind of burnout. And I mean, I absolutely loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I'm looking forward to Captain America 4 because of that. And I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But I mean, like, I bought Spider-Man Far From Home, and I have still not put it on because
You're not missing much.
I just
Shut up, Raina.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Far From
with
Home was
that.
good. Far From Home was good.
I
And I mean,
also
like,
like
Guys, the worst MCU films are still good. Can we just say that now? Like the
Travis,
worst
hold on.
ones.
Hold on, Raina. Far From Home is not Dark World.
Exactly.
Oh man, like
And,
it is sad because I'm gonna get hated.
Anyway,
but I
let's
like
try-
Dark World.
Let
So-
Travis finish. Sorry.
like I just when it comes to Black Widow, it's like Loki. I don't really feel a connection to her. And granted, I never saw Iron Man 2. My first introduction to Black Widow was probably ironically through Civil War. And it was through there that I finally I went and saw Captain America, the first Avenger. I saw the first Avengers movie finally, and she was there. Like I got introduced to the character in the movies I thought were essential to basically understand what would happen in Infinity War and Endgame and whatnot. But I mean, like, Black Widow was just always kind of just there. Very much just a glorified secondary character that just didn't get enough spotlight. And it's because of this that when she is killed off in Endgame, I just didn't really feel too much for her. Like, it just, I don't understand. Like, I guess, like, I'm looking at this movie and I'm just asking myself what the point of it is. And I'm sure one day I will see it, but
I think I think that's a fair question, Travis.
Wait, is this one of those rare moments where everyone agrees with me?
I mean, like, eventually
it
I will see it
depends.
probably. Like, eventually I will see it probably. It's just one of those movies where I'm just like, whatever. If I see it, I see it.
Yeah, you're not gonna go see it day one.
I'm not gonna go to theater. It's just, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not that excited about the movies that are out right now. There's some good ones coming later in the month and some good ones coming in August, but so far I'm not impressed. So
I think this is going to have to be our new achievement unlocked. So
Wow.
So the only movie I really have hype for right now is that Netflix one, America, the motion picture.
Oh,
that does look pretty great.
yeah, that looks fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I am most irritated that Dune has been delayed again.
Wait,
But at
what?
least it's not that far away. Usually
Well-
when they delay movies, it's like into the next year. This is delayed
So
by
coming
a
out
few
this year.
weeks.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
still,
gonna
it's
say-
coming out September 24th.
Okay.
Oh,
It was
thank
supposed to
God.
be June.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
you know,
Ross,
I think-
there you go.
I mean, hey, they delayed the Sonic movie 6 months, not an entire year, and
That's because the internet bullied them into changing the character design.
well, it was deserved.
It was.
Look
It
at
was.
look at what
It
we
was
got
very
over
much
what we were
deserved.
going to. Holy
Oh,
shit!
boy.
You know, I think a big problem with this movie too is like you want a good martial arts fighting flick, you got Shang-Chi coming out. You want
Yeah.
something that's going to change the MCU fundamentally, you got Doctor Strange
Doctor
coming out.
Strange.
This movie is going to be so self-contained, it does not change anything. It's only going to add context to what is already there and things that we already assumed. And I think it could, like, it's going to be good. It's an MCU flick. It's going to be
It's a damn
good.
film.
You're gonna sit down, you're gonna shut up, you're gonna eat your popcorn, and you're gonna grin at all the action. But it's like it's the first MCU movie in a while where I'm just like, it exists. I almost debated waiting till it comes out to Redbox because I have no interest in just putting myself at risk to see a movie that just looks. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's burnout. I feel like I'm becoming like Sun. Like, I love the MCU to death, but I feel like after Endgame, I'm like, I feel like I only want to go to theaters for those main events. If I wasn't on the podcast, I probably wouldn't go see them anymore.
I can condense the feelings of this group in one phrase.
Here it comes.
This was the movie that was supposed to be, not what we should have now.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summation.
So you're
Here's-
saying that this is the equivalent to Star Trek Insurrection.
Hey, whoa, easy. Easy.
Oh,
Ouch,
I will
I
not
don't
take it
know
easy. I
about
will
that.
not take it
Oh,
Oh.
easy. That movie
Yeah,
sucks.
but were we supposed to get Insurrection sometime earlier than the other movies?
No.
Well, then it's not that.
Here's a hot take. Wonder Woman will be the best female-led comic book movie over the two Marvel ones, which will be Captain Marvel and a Black Widow. I don't see Black Widow being better than Wonder Woman 2017.
Until we get a Xena movie.
I don't think that's much of a hot take, honestly.
Yeah, that's not a hot take. That's
With
not
Wonder-
that, that
With
makes sense.
Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, the first Wonder Woman movie though was like I feel like is the pinnacle female superhero
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I will admit that I'm not a DC fan, like hardly compared to Marvel, but like
Fair.
that movie is still like Captain Marvel just annoyed the hell out of me. I think
It
it's the
did.
one MCU movie that just the pacing was all off, the plot was just all over the place, and it was just I don't know what they were thinking with that film. It wasn't as bad as 1984 Wonder Woman, but I was just not amused. Like nothing to climb over. A hero has to overcome something. She overcame nothing in that movie. Nothing at all. Nothing was gained. She was literally badass from the moment she came on screen. She didn't earn a single thing in that movie.
Yeah.
Just saying,
I like
Wonder
the
Woman,
aesthetic of that
Wonder
movie,
Woman,
that's
she
about it.
had to see that humanity wasn't perfect. And I think that there was a big lesson in that movie that sometimes our own faults are ours. And Captain Marvel is, well, she got a different suit color by the end of the movie. That's what she earned.
Yay.
And I don't feel like that is good enough. Tell me I'm wrong, Ross. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to say you're wrong because your opinions aren't correct or incorrect. I disagree with your opinion. I think the conflict of Captain Marvel was internal and that her struggles were overcoming her own, her trying to figure out what her identity was, who she was after everyone around her telling her who she is, after struggling to be accepted as a pilot in a male-dominated Air Force, in between being given a name and an identity by the Kree, a purpose, and then finding out that everything that she was a lie, and trying to overcome that and find herself again. I think that's what the core of that story was, framed around being a superhero. Also giving us some wonderful insight into Nick Fury that we didn't have before. A wonderful reimagining of the Kree as a non-adversarial race. I thought that there was a lot of fun.
The Skrulls. The Skrulls.
Yeah, the Skrulls.
I meant
the Kree didn't come out so well from this movie.
No. The Kree are assholes.
That's what I was saying. Well, that's what I was saying. It was the only reason that movie was poor executed. Because Ross, I think you are on the money. That's what the premise is supposed to be. But she doesn't overcome that. There has to be a challenge, and there was no challenge ever instated for her. None. There was none.
If I may, since Ross, and I agree with Ross, the whole opinion thing. Here's my opinion: Brie Larson was one of Marvel's miscast for roles. They could have gotten somebody better.
Untrue. I don't think that was a problem with who.
I actually like Brie Larson.
I do too.
I don't find that every person has to overcome something, and I feel like her overcoming this.
Yeah, it's a story problem.
It was the suit color. Like, that's the whole thing. Is the premise is great and it's wonderful, but the way they go about it, she doesn't climb any obstacle. I feel like a hero has to get knocked the hell down and rise above that.
Mentally, she did get knocked down, though.
I don't feel that, though. She was strong even when restrained. She only became stronger when the device came off. Like, there was nothing else about that. She was never once at risk of anything. Death, injury, anything. There was nothing to lose in that movie because she was so damn strong. And I feel like a mental compromise for that, sure. You could put it like that, but that movie is just terribly written. I'm sorry. Like, every time I go back and watch it too, it gets worse because the pacing itself.
How many times have you watched it, Raina?
But it's like the action itself. Like,
I hate it so much. Like, need to watch it again.
Like, that's the thing. Ever. I do my Marvel. I do my Marvel marathons a lot, and when I go to this movie, I try to find its redeeming factors, and I love everything from the costumes, the world designs, like when they show different planets. I like how the Kree, they actually give context of why things are, the way they are. And Brie Larson, people gave her shit, and it was the least worst thing about that movie.
Yeah,
I feel
it's not her fault for sure.
It's really not, because people were like, "Oh, well, she's not really emotional." She's a damn soldier. She's been conditioned. The Kree are emotionless dudes. They know anger and fighting. They're like the Krogan, just smaller. That's all they know. And I just feel like people gave her hell, and it's you're missing the big picture.
Justin.
Yes.
Of all the Krogan, of all the Klingon stuff you got, you don't have Krogan.
Uh-oh.
They are literally turtles, but Klingon.
I look. He didn't look until this episode. He didn't even have one for Mocklins because I gave it to him.
Yeah. Here, we'll throw this up for good measure. Just 'cause I
Not
don't
good
have
enough,
one
damn it.
now.
Not good enough.
Well, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Picard.
Here, have a
well
bit.
put. Well put.
Nice. Good one, son.
Inside jokes galore, everybody.
Oh, sip
Oh.
your tea, Travis.
By the way, Travis,
have.
Star Trek Insurrection is better than Discovery.
Fuck you.
Lies.
Ooh.
Lies.
Star Trek Insurrection is better than
Look.
Orville.
Look, I'll put
You
it.
can kiss my ass, Justin.
I'll put it this way. Discovery is its own mess until season 3.
Well,
Sorry,
I think it still
at
has the
least
strongest
Discovery.
first season of any Star Trek series.
At least Discovery season 3 actually came
Lower
out. We're
decks.
still waiting on Orville.
Oh
The
yeah,
amazing-
I would. I mean, live
Amazing
action.
dumpster fire that is Lower Decks.
I actually want to
Lower Decks
tackle
is
a few
awesome.
episodes of Star Trek Discovery in terms of the underrated episodes, because there are some episodes in that first season that I feel are not at like they deserve far more praise than some people give them. And
Yeah,
Better than
Jason, I think always had a good take on this, which was when you watch them one after the other.
When you can binge it.
Yeah, it makes more sense. It hangs together better. You see where they're going with some of the storylines. It was that week in between and months or weeks, I guess, in between the first half and the second half. And I agree with that. I think because I've watched season 1, I don't know, probably 4 times in its entirety, and that I think is accurate. It was for me. I mean, I liked season 1 as it aired, but it held together very well when you binge it.
It
What
does.
was our topic?
All right, we've spent an awful lot of time on this. It's time to get through. We're getting over time. All right,
It's okay, Ross. You're off.
What?
You're off.
Either way,
It's
I need sleep.
It's off
damn it.
its rock.
And I have a Florida Man story I want to do.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So let's.
Right.
plunge
Wakanda
forward.
Forever is in production.
Yes.
yeah,
I still would prefer Wakanda Vision.
Well, now that you coined it,
Yeah. What is it? Wakanda
I'm so
for-
happy they're moving on with this. That they're continuing the story of Wakanda, of Shuri, of all of the other characters, independent of Chadwick Boseman, paying him tribute, but not recasting him. I think that's
Smart
good.
choice.
That's
Very
a-
smart choice.
Yes.
Which is good, except Black Panther isn't. It's a title, right?
yes, it is a
Passes
title.
from one to another. So, do you think we're going to see someone take that
Shuri.
title?
I think so.
Honestly, I think it would be Shuri that would take. I mean, it's kind of like been passing down through the royal family. If we're going to go down that same track, then Shuri would be the next one to get it.
Mm.
I wouldn't be upset if Okoye ended up with it.
Yeah,
That would be a good one. That would be a good one.
be a good one. She's a pretty awesome.
Dora Milaje are just badass.
Like Shuri would sit there and be like, "I'm not built." Her being a genius, but it's like she was supposed to be like, "I'm not that kind of fighter." Then Okoye is like, "I'll do it."
she's a hand cannon kind of
Are
gal.
you,
Yeah.
are you telling? Well, it's kind of funny because it's like you don't even need to have Black Panther after seeing the Dora Milaje. All I keep going back
Right.
to is looking strong, John.
Like I said,
Oh.
like this is also a movie I'm personally excited for over Black Widow. It's like I mean, like Black Panther is
Yeah.
actually kind of like it's a hero in the MCU that actually kind of took me by surprise by how much I got invested in the character. Like after I saw him in Civil War, I was actually quite surprised that like I'd gotten interest in him as much as I did. And I was a guy who was rooting for the Black Panther movie to win Best Picture of the Year when it came out. Like I was very defensive of that. And like there's so much in that movie that I just absolutely love, from the musical score to the like undertones of like you know, how life is for, you know, people in Wakanda versus the United States, and how, you know, the what's his name? Not like, I can't remember the like his formal name. The Black Panther, like just seeing how the Black,
Chadwick Boseman.
no, not Chadwick
Oh.
Boseman. That's the actor. I'm talking about Black Panther's like formal name.
T'Challa.
T'Challa, yes. Seeing
Yeah.
like, you know, I thought like the antagonist of that story, in terms of like his relationship with T'Challa, was really well done.
Yeah, and you
Oh, yeah,
and you
Killmonger,
liked him. You
Yeah.
liked him.
Yeah,
You respected
Killmonger
him.
wasn't. He wasn't wrong. He's one of those villains. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's hard to call him that.
There was a lot of like, there's a lot of like super unappreciated things about this movie, and when people were saying, "Oh, it doesn't deserve Best Picture," I just like, I couldn't bring myself to agree. I can understand why some might say that it, like, I can understand why some would look at its nomination and like kind of see like give that like really reaction, but I mean, like, I was kind of pulling for it, and I'm happy that it got the nomination, and I hope that in years, like, I hope that as the years go by, it gets more appreciation, because like it really is better than most people seem to give it credit for, and I'm really hoping that this Wakanda Forever film can keep that momentum going, even without Chadwick. Chadwick was a wonderful person for the role, and it's a damn shame he's no longer with us. But if they can keep that Black Panther magic there, I will be all in with it.
All right.
It's a
Any
lot
other
like-
thoughts on final thoughts on Wakanda Forever?
I just have to say, like, that Black Panther was one of those movies that I too unsuspected that it would be as good as it was. It's now in my top 5 favorite Marvel movies of all time after I had seen it. I think that that movie was art, score, costume design, art, everything except the CGI at the end was fantastic. Characters, story, the pace of the plot, everything works in that film, and everything that they do has a purpose. It's not just thrown in there. It's not just done for the sake of spectacle. Like, you feel every character's intentions and the way they go about things. And I'm very excited for this film, because while T'Challa by himself was good, I found the cast around him as compelling as he was. And I think that you can still do it. And I think that Marvel's seeing that this cast of characters is interesting. We can do something with it. And I feel like I'm so happy that we get to travel back to Wakanda and see how it's going to play out, because that whole culture is just amazing. And it's like, when you see Wakanda on the big screen, especially, like, it is just popping. Like, I haven't had that feeling since seeing Asgard for the first time on the big screen. I'm very excited for this film. Very, more than Black Widow.
All right. In other update news, we've got the first trailer for Apple TV's Foundation. I'll admit I'm not too invested in this. I don't know anything about it. Carlos, you seem to be the biggest fan of the group. Why don't you take a lead on this?
Well, Foundation is one of the foundational science fiction books by Isaac Asimov. And it was one of those stories that people said just could not ever be adapted for the screen. I always disagreed with that. And from what I see in this film, in this trailer, they're spending the money to really make it happen. And, just quick about what it's about. It's It's about this he's a psychohistorian who basically is able to predict the future, not like for any individual people, but like the big broad swaths of what's going to happen. And so he's born at the height of this galactic empire, and he uses his calculations to figure out that the empire is going to fall. And what he's hoping is that if people believe him, like it's inevitable as far as he's concerned, it's inevitable it's going to fall. But he's trying to make the time between when it falls and when it rises again as short as possible. And that's what he's trying to do. He creates this foundation to do that. But in the meantime, he's considered, a heretic, enemy of the state, blah, blah, blah. It's a broad ranging epic story. And I'm looking forward to seeing it on screen. I think they just the imagery I think that they're putting together for this demonstrates that they understand how epic this story is. And they're aiming high. They're spending money on this.
Very cool.
For room service.
Anybody else have any thoughts on Foundation and how Apple TV is adapting it?
Well, I don't have anything to say on Foundation, but that's kind of the generally accepted kind of consensus for predicting the future. It's that the wider the margin is for everything, the more accurate you can make a prediction. It's when you start getting into the smaller and smaller details, it's that any number of variables can start throwing shit off.
Right. Well, Isaac Asimov is the guy who basically came up with that. I mean, in science fiction. And, that's why it's such an important work, because it really, so much of what we think of as science fiction began in Foundation. And it's a trilogy, and I don't remember if they're doing all three in this series or not. And then it actually extends even beyond the original trilogy, but when I read it, I was in junior high school, and it was literally this thick. It's a big book. So I'm curious to see whether or not they're actually going to be doing all three, or if this is just going to be based on the first book. And by the way, I just want to point out that I was wrong earlier when I said which movie was it we were talking about? The one that they've postponed so many times.
Dune?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Dune. It was Dune. That's actually October 22nd. It's Foundation that premieres on September 25th. I got them mixed up.
Thanks, Carlos.
Sorry,
It was supposed to be June.
Bad news. I'm sorry.
You're really just we need to stop. We keep on giving him like just stress attacks.
It's actually delayed until 2024.
No, it's done, you guys. It's all about.
Hey, harvesters, you can drop the laser beam now. I'm ready.
I mean, like Ross just wants to watch his really big, huge sandworm squirm through the desert.
True, but let me tell you why it's a good idea that they're delaying it. Its original, June release would have happened before most of the country was ready to go back to theaters. And it should be seen on a big screen,
But it's getting the hybrid release.
That means go to the IMAX,
but still, it's really, it should be theatrical, and it was designed that way. I think that's the best way to see it. Moving it to October hurts, but God willing, the country will be open again. Movie theaters will be open again. People will go to it. They'll pay for it. And frankly, the more financially successful this movie is, the more likely we are to see more of its kind. So that's why I'm okay with it.
Especially after previous adaptations, namely Lynch.
Patrick Stewart.
He was the only good thing in that
Sting
movie.
Sting didn't work for you in that movie?
Oh God.
No, Sting did not work for me in that movie. The first half of that movie worked, but the greatest sin of the David Lynch movie is what he did to my bad boy, the Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, yeah.
The worst adaptation of the villain I have ever seen in any medium or arts. It's just
No. Okay, let's move on because it's
Move on.
It's killing Ross.
Long, slow, and
Carlos.
drawn out. Not pull a plug out of his heart and watch him bleed.
Damn it,
to death.
Carlos, what did you do?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Carlos, before we move on, the one thing I gotta say is it's sad because Foundation sounds like such an interesting premise. It's a damn shame that it's on Apple TV.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You made it sound very interesting.
Well, it's only $4.99 a month, folks.
I think I may. So interestingly enough, I think I may have inclined Sean to re-up his Netflix subscription just for America the Motion Picture.
Chat.
Well, moving on to Amazon, we received news this week that Good Omens is getting a second season.
Woo, haven't seen the first.
You need to see it. It's a great first season. The only possible downside is it's based on a book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and unfortunately, they only wrote one. So they're branching out into territory uncovered by the people who actually came up with the story.
So here's an interesting thing. The only way I knew that there was a season 2 of Good Omens is because of the Twitter thing that went down with Neil Gaiman. So some fan somewhere of the first book was like, how the hell are they supposed to make content for this movie? Like, there's no book for them to go off of. They'll just be making shit up. And Neil Gaiman responds, it's kind of how we did it the first time.
That's kind of, and I agree with him. It's not a question of it being a bad idea or a bad concept. It's a question of, are they getting the right writers? And, we'll see. I mean, David Tennant and Michael Sheehan are amazing. And they had great chemistry together. The way they created this world, the producers created this world, just made it really involving, and you care about these two supposed enemies, and I'm looking forward to seeing them back on screen.
Travis, make me do it. 1, 2, 3.
Why are we squatting?
4.
On Ross's Twitch, Travis decided to do put some stuff into it to make Ross do exercises.
Twitch redeems, channel redeems. Yeah, it was crunches. And I don't have my medicine ball with me, so I did squats instead.
Fair enough.
This is what we will be looking forward to once we start using Streamlabs more often. Is everybody will be able to know all of us, including Travis.
Maybe I should have done ad time then.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that, to see what they do. I've heard a lot of good things about season 1, though I haven't seen it myself yet.
Take your time. You'll enjoy it. It's
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So last week we covered a story about Image Comics picking up Warren Ellis after his brief period of unemployment.
Yes.
To return to comics amid a lot of allegations of sexual misconduct. We had a lot of differing opinions about it, and some of us thought it was a risky idea. Some of us thought it was a bad idea. But it looks like Image is backtracking after public outcry, and he will not be continuing with the publisher after all.
Image, you have no spine.
Well, and I kind of agree with you, even though I personally think it was a good call. What I agree with is exactly what you said. It was a spineless way of doing it, because what they did, Image released a statement about this, and it basically said, oops, we didn't mean for this to come out because we hadn't really thought about it, because we're dumb. And I mean, that's how it came out. So it's not even like they're following the courage of their convictions. It's like, oops, people didn't like it, so we're going to completely backtrack.
Please forgive us. We're morons.
Clearly, if that's your fucking excuse.
I mean, it's almost like they're going, we're sorry. The public outcry was too much from these 300 sock puppet accounts.
My God.
We can't take the heat. We're sorry. We'll cancel him
I
right
think
now.
there was a lot more people who were upset about
just
it. 300
own
songs.
it. Like, just own it, because us as the people who know the story before, we know that's why you're letting the guy go. Just say, hey, it's bringing us bad press. That's why we're doing it, and just be open about it. You look like an idiot when you try to church it up when everyone in the world already knows. I hate when companies do that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But see, that's not even it. They have no spine because they laid out the groundwork in their first fucking statement. We're hiring him. There are allegations. We recognize that. When the investigation is done, we'll make a decision.
There isn't an investigation, though.
There was.
Oh, they were going to.
There were ongoing investigations. When those investigations were done, they'd make a decision. Because that's what we were. What's what we covered last week.
I know Greg was saying that there was going to be like deliberation between the supposed victims, right? And the accused.
They agreed to talk to each other. That's what I thought was happening. I was not aware of any investigation.
This is the thing that pisses me off. Like, just own it when the world knows. I can't stand when companies do this, and I lose all kinds of respect. Like, it's not a secret. Everyone knows already. Why are you being like this?
So should WB fire Amber Heard?
Yes.
Well, that's a decision the company has to make.
I actually don't know about that at all. Like, I genuinely don't know any. Like, I keep hearing about it, and I don't know the context of that story, so I couldn't even begin to tell you.
We'll be here all night if we get into that.
Yeah.
So that's that story, and that brings us to the end of our news topics for today. And I haven't forgotten this week. It's time to move into my personal favorite segments. What are we watching? Let's lead off with Justin. What were you watching this week?
Well, I watched the thing on Netflix, the Godzilla animated series.
Oh, that's right. Singular Point.
Yes, and it actually is really, really good. Singular Point.
It's a brand
new series.
It's a brand new series that came out last week.
I haven't seen it yet. So,
dude, watch it. You'll love it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Which series?
Okay, it's called Godzilla Singular Point. It came out last week.
Right. Okay,
it's very good. Yes,
does it have Godzuki in it?
Well,
I can't.
Spoilers.
Godzilla is in it. I can say that.
The only character I want, the only established character that I want to see return in any way, shape, or form from any of the previous animated series is Nigel.
So I have a question. Why did it sound like Travis was spinning that big, huge wheel from The Price is Right? That's what it sounded like.
Boop, 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 boop. And then, of course, this would happen.
What else have you been watching, Justin?
Well, other than that, that's been basically it. I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic, and I have Star Citizen now.
Ah, the Axanar of gaming.
Yeah, well, at least, but unlike Axanar, they actually produce stuff.
Yeah, but not the $1,200 or some obscene number for just for a ship that's nothing but a JPEG.
But you actually earn in-game cash and pay for ships now, so you don't have to fork up real-world cash to buy those things. You can if you want. The option is there, kind of like Star Trek Online, but yeah.
You don't have to buy the microtransactions; they're optional.
Right.
Time
right.
savers.
But unlike Elite Dangerous, which is in a hot mess right now, this one, you know what to expect. And plus, it was a gift from a friend of mine.
Yes, you know what to expect from Star Citizen. Practically nothing.
Well, it's got some missions and some stuff. But I mean, it's fun. It's fun to mess around with whenever you have nothing better to do with your life. So hey, why not? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Justin. Carlos, what have you been watching this week?
So I didn't watch it a ton this week. I mean, I watched some sort of usual stuff, but in terms of stuff that stood out, I was really looking forward to the second season of Lupin, which is a French series, a Netflix original series, but made in France, about this guy who's sort of a gentleman thief. And its first season landed and people loved it, and because he was so, he was a gentleman thief, so he was this very charming kind of guy, and who always found ways to outsmart the people who were out after him. And and it ended with a cliffhanger where his son was kidnapped by his mortal enemy. And so I was looking forward to the second season, and I have to say I was kind of disappointed after such a strong first season, because, same character, same kind of thing, outsmarting the people trying to get him, but it just felt so easy for him. I think sort of what you were talking about, Raina, with Captain Marvel, the stakes just weren't very high. I mean, they should have been. I guess on paper they looked like they were high, but it just felt like he was walking through it, and it wasn't terrible. I'm glad I watched it and saw how it turned out, but I just felt kind of empty by the end. So my guess is we probably won't see a season 3, but I'm glad they finished the story. That was on Netflix, by the way, if I didn't say.
I'm confused. Are we talking about a live action thing or Japanese anime?
No, that was Lupin the Third.
Oh, I know. That's kind of the only reason that I know that name.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a live action series. It's French. It's French. So.
Okie dokie.
All right. We lost Greg again.
Greg!
No. Oh, he's back.
There he is. Okay.
Well, before we lose you again, Greg, tell us what you were watching this week.
I also watched Godzilla Singular Point. I was very, very much disappointed with it. It was so not what I expected. And being in my field of physics and theoretical physics, I'm just like, I wanted to shoot my TV.
Someone's done playing Tomb Raider.
Other than that, I was
song stays in your head.
Watched all of that. I did appreciate they brought back the original Toho theme, so that was actually really fun. Other than that, I've just been actually playing video games. I decided randomly one day and just went and played Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past all the way through, and beat it in about 2 days. I remember this being much harder. But other than I'm looking forward to eventually Lucifer season 6. Hopefully, it drops this year.
Cool. Thank you very much, Greg. Raina, what were you watching this week?
Well, it was a mix of gaming and watching stuff. Nothing. I read a couple things, but none of it was notable. I would say the Dooku novel was pretty good, like I said. Me and my boyfriend got hard back into Smite because I hadn't played in like 3 years, and there was a lot of laughter, there was a lot of fun, and at the end there was a lot of salt. We managed it through, but the other thing is I started watching Sweet Tooth, like Carlos recommended me, which I'm up to episode 4, and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
I'm really enjoying it so far, and I watched a show about sirens called Tidelands all the way through. Like, I was so entranced by this show, I couldn't stop watching. It's on Netflix, and the way they portray sirens is like the most different thing that I've ever seen, and I kind of like it. It's so subtle until the end, and I love it.
Intrigued.
You will like it, Travis. I think if you take away your pre-notions of what you think about those creatures, like it's awesome, and the characters are really good. A lot of drama, a lot of family betrayal, a lot of refinding yourself. I found the show really good. It's one of Netflix's better, and it's been out a while, and it's not got a season 2, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's I think I saw the pilot for it. It's an Australian series, right?
Yeah.
I remember thinking it looked interesting.
Yeah, it like that's the thing is it has one of those really slow starts, but like, you know, it has that where they have that cliffhanger at the end of episode 1, and then it just like slams on the friggin' gas. Like once it's like, oh wait, there's something supernatural afoot. Okay, just drive it through the wall now. once they kind of let everything go, it goes really well, and the characters, I feel like their drama is actually realistic given the circumstances that we're presented with, and just the betrayals that happen are just like will make you angry. But those are the best kinds, you know. It's the best
like watching
kinds.
The
So
Lost Boys.
but
Christ.
I don't know if this show's ever going to get a season 2 because it's been out like 2 years and there has not been one. So I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I think Travis will like it too.
Cool. And speaking of, Travis, what were you watching this week?
I was all over the place, honestly. I mean, I can go ahead and I'll be brief on Disney Roulette because I feel like everyone. Well, we watched Tangled. We pulled Tangled. It's a great movie, everybody. If you haven't seen it, go watch Tangled. Wonderful take on the Rapunzel story. But like, the stuff I want to talk about is weird because like I found myself in a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole, and I don't know how I got here, but I found myself watching documentaries about cruise ship disasters, and I watched I watched a documentary on the sinking of a cruise ship called the MS Astoria, and I watched internet historians' video on the disaster of the Costa Concordia, which is really well done, by the way. Like, internet historian, he's like, the channel is very satirical and, you know, kind of like lighthearted and like, oh, I'm gonna make fun of this very silly thing. But he does a really bang up job on recounting like what happens during the Costa Concordia disaster that happened 8 years ago. And that took up a good bit of time. But I also got around to watching a movie that I have been curious about, and that movie was Luca.
I want to see that.
It's I watched Luca, and it was very, very, very okay. Like, it's a very this is a very simple movie. I did my best to put aside the stigma of Pixar always coming forth with like, oh, this is like such emotional, such deep, like intricate storytelling from Pixar or anything like that. This is a very, very simple story. And that's not a bad thing, but it's also like very, very predictable at times. Like, there are definitely story beats that I have seen told before, especially when concerning like people who live under the sea looking up at the surface world with this wonder and whimsical imagination. I mean, like, it's not straight up The Little Mermaid, but it's got a lot of the same story beats there. I also found like the film's antagonist to be very like laughably just there. He really doesn't like he is just there. He's not really like doesn't really do much. Like a lot
He's
of the
like the
things that he
truancy
does,
officer from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's just there.
I guess so, because like the things that they have him do in this movie, they feel so out of the blue sometimes, like out of left field. Like, I never understand why he's doing what he does. I never have a reason to care why I should dislike him or why I should be invested in him. He just is a bit of a like Biff Tannen jock ass.
Oh, geez, he's Mr. Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents.
But the other thing that I really didn't care about for this movie, and I'm not saying that this is a bad movie, but this really kind of took a lot of the bite out of it for me. The film's climax is very rushed and very underwhelming. When the big reveals happen, I don't want to talk spoilers too much for those who want to see the movie. It's just like one of those things that like it just sort of happens and people accept it. Like it's very predictable in a way of what's going to happen, but like they don't do enough with the reveal. They don't do enough with the film's conflicts. They don't do enough with the big revelations of this film, which is unfortunate because I was really looking forward to what they might do with some of these characters because these characters are very charming. Like I was, like once they introduce I can't remember her name, but the little human girl and how she bonds with the two, with Luca and I can't remember the other guy's name. Like they share some very fun moments, and like the little girl's father is a very fun character himself. But they just don't do enough with this climax to really convince me that what they're trying to show here is like fathomable. It's just like it's too improbable the way it happens. Now, all this said, it's again not a bad movie. It's very, very, very okay. By the time the credits were rolling, I was like, okay, I'm glad I watched it. Like, if I were to rank this in terms of Pixar movie, this is very high tier B, I guess. Like above Finding Dory, maybe. Like it's not bad, but it's not good.
It's no Zootopia, though.
It's definitely no
Zootopia was the best.
Zootopia wasn't Pixar.
That's not. Yeah,
That's
that
true.
wasn't Pixar. That was Disney.
Oh.
Like in terms of like recent
explains
Pixar animation, I guess one thing I should go ahead and say is that the animation of this movie is gorgeous. Like,
how does the water look? That's all that matters.
Water
Is
looks
it a 10
brilliant.
Great
The
water.
setting
Great
underwater
water.
is actually like great. Like setting underwater, like Pixar has not lost what they have not lost their touch when it comes to their animation and their visuals. They did their homework here. It's just the story, which is very simple and very underwhelming at times, and like the predictable. Like again, it's very okay. It's not. It's not one of those movies where it's like, oh God, it's planes or Cars too. Like it's nothing like that. Like it's okay. Like it's better than things like Monsters University or stuff like that. But I mean, like in terms of like, I was hoping that it might be just a bit more. I wasn't expecting Inside Out or Up, but like just a bit more would have been.
In terms of original
better.
IP, it fell kind of flat, is what you're saying.
So take Travis's entire review right there, replace movie with TV show, and that's how I felt about Godzilla Singular Point.
All right. Well, thank you, Travis. Justin, or did I already talk?
You already got me.
Yeah, Justin went first.
Who have I missed?
Raina.
Son. No,
Son.
Raina went.
Right, son.
It's Son.
So I found out I was 2 seasons and an entirely other new series behind in the 7 Deadly Sins. So I've been having to do some catch up. So I'm in season 4 of 7 Deadly Sins.
It's still going?
Yeah, it's still going. They even have an entire other series now called like Judgment something or other.
Jesus.
Damn.
And yeah, I was like, oh wow, I need to catch up on this. And I have been bawling my eyes out episode to episode because it's just been so emotional.
Really?
And yeah. We learned the backstory of Grouther. And a lot of backstory to the point it takes like 2 or 3 episodes to explain. And it's not wasted. It's not filler episodes of backstory.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're also learning more about Elizabeth and Meliodas and their history. and all of it stems from Diane and King and something that they go through with 2 of the 10 commandments. So yeah, it's. I don't want to spoil it if you're interested in catching it, but this is just season 4, and I'm still in the middle of it because I can't binge shit. So yeah, I'm slowly chugging through that, and it's been. Let me put it this way: there's more emotion in this series in just this season than whatever the hell kind of emotional cutscenes they were trying to do for Tomb Raider.
I'd kind of lost interest in 7 Deadly Sins for a bit because they did that anime thing where they start comparing power levels and doing it all in abstract numbers. Oh, this guy's got a power level of 2,500.
Right,
This guy's got 3,000.
Right, that's kind of that scene, and I understand that because that's kind of Grouther's thing, has been always understanding the world through logic and science and all this kind of stuff.
But it was a lot of telling and not showing. A lot of characters looking at someone saying, "Oh, he's level 3,000. Okay, what does that mean? Can you
So,
show
would you
me
say
how powerful that person is instead of just listing off power levels and strong stoic moments with energy flying up and rocks floating up?"
There's actually an explanation to this of a sort in one of the scenes with King and Diane, and it's explained that some of the demons have a really unique spell that they have to have a certain power level for to be able to do, or they'll instantly die.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is Sunseal's dislike of Tomb Raider going to be the equivalent of me constantly talking about how much I hate Treadstone?
Possibly. Well, at this point, I'm literally only playing the game because Raina and everybody else who comes to that stream is fascinated watching me rant about that game. That's the only reason I'm playing it, because I would have shot and buried this game a long fucking time ago.
And then the sequels.
I'm not playing the sequels. There's no way in hell you're getting me to play the sequels.
Ross, I have to ask, have you seen One Punch Man? I
have not.
You will be begging for numbers to explain what the hell is happening in that show.
Oh, thank you very much, son. Who haven't I gotten to yet?
Yourself.
Yeah,
Me?
just yourself.
Well, I haven't really watched much by way of TV series. The wife and I are continuing our slow watch of The Manifest.
Which, by the way, hit #1 this week on Netflix's most watched.
It's a very good show. I feel like I should be 3 seasons in because they've completed 3 story arcs, but we're still in the first season.
Should have finished Lucifer.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, Russ. So you're watching Manifest, but you guys haven't finished Lucifer yet.
Thank you.
We haven't finished Lucifer
yet. Hashtag priorities.
He was already into Lucifer before Manifest.
So this is what happens. See, this is just further proof you can tell a really good story in 15 minutes.
Sure you can, yeah.
You know,
otherwise,
some people who were complaining that it wasn't enough time.
I believe I made my feelings abundant on that when I talked about Astartes. I laughed for like 45 seconds. I think.
Or anyone who's ever watched the television series Doug.
That too, or almost any late night animated TV show. Usually split their episodes into
Space Ghost.
15 minutes. Anyway, otherwise, it's been my usual YouTube stuff. I've been catching up on the ongoing story of Destiny and World of Warcraft. What little games time I have has been in Minecraft, which released its latest update. They have updated their the first part of their Cliffs and Caves update. New blocks, new textures. It's a lot of fun to dive back into that game again, feeling a little bit new. And that's what I've been doing when I haven't been working.
I'm giving you the Minecraft there.
All right, and that'll do it. That concludes this episode of the Real Super Geeks. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again, and thank you to everybody in the audience on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for tuning in.
I'm sorry. Diana Volo posted in on Twitch and said, "I will say this: the ending for Lucifer was eh."
delete her message. Get her out of here.
Thank you, everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for joining us once again tonight. We will be, as a program note, we are changing up how we are recording. We're getting away from StreamYards and migrating to Discord. So you'll see a few changes in how we do the show, and there will be inevitable growing pains as we iron out the details and figure out how to best present ourselves to all of you. So bear with us. We're doing what we can to make this show as good as we can. So big thanks to Justin, who's been spearheading that and working all the technical details on that. Thank you very much for all the hard work you do for us, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
So you guys in the audience, keep the appreciation on this man. He deserves it. Just shovel it right at him. Anyway.
Yeah, or if you want to help contribute to the show, we will be starting to doing things such as merch that will benefit not only Super Geeks but Live, Love, Play as well. Which our kind Ross is the owner of, and we're part of the Live, Love, Play network. So stay tuned for big things. Big things are coming.
Oh crap! Now I gotta go get the medicine ball. Thank you, Dia.
So, so could you repeat what you
Here
just
it
said,
is.
Justin? Because it was a little hard to hear.
Yeah, your mic.
Okay, there. Now, all right. So we are changing everything up. We are going to be getting merch that's going to benefit both Super Geeks and Live, Love, Play. Best ball cracking me up. We will have a custom page. It will be at the Real Supergeeks .live, where you'll be able to go in and chat with us. And if you want to send your appreciation that way, you'll be able to. We'll be able to do Pels. So if you want to make Carlos do something wanky, we can come up with a few things. Travis, do something swanky. Greg, the Nintendo cartridges.
Dude, like,
Raina.
if you're gonna do anything like that with me, you just gotta, like, if we're gonna do anything like with what we do with Ross, you guys gotta just let me, like, you guys gotta.
We'll
do
let you
things that,
pick.
like,
We'll let you pick.
like-
It'll be peachy.
it'll be like, hey, spend this points to Pet Lane or Boop Lane or like Hug Lane.
It'll be
Wholesome
something that.
Lane.
It'll be
It'll
something
be
safe.
15.
It'll be something safe.
It'll be 15.
Yeah, like what Ross is doing over there, having to work out.
Lane. Scritch Lane. You like the scritches?
Stop it! You're turning Carlos on.
Oh.
So lots of changes coming. It's gonna be awesome. If you've got suggestions, the invites to my Discord server where we will be hosting the show is on Twitch. And if you message us via Facebook or YouTube, and we can get you an invite to get you in there and see what else is happening on the Live, Love, Play Discord server.
And if you would like to actually help support Super Geeks, reach out to Ross or any of one of the members of the Super Geeks team, and we'll get you set up as a supporter.
And as with any sort of social media and hosting site, if you're watching this live recorded on YouTube, like the video, leave us a comment, and make sure your notifications are enabled. Facebook, like the video, and share it around with your friends. And of course, on Twitch, follow the channel. If you like what we do, subscribe. Otherwise, just thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and just giving an audience to the weird ramblings of our overly geeky, super geeky minds.
Wow.
Son, if you would,
Where can we find you, son?
And remember, everyone, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
all right, Justin, play us out.
Alrighty. We're
Keyboard cat.
Alrighty. Where's the button?
I can't believe you don't have this ready. Come on.
Walking into the bottom of a lake at 2 a.m.
All right.
Oh, no.
For those of you sticking around, that is the end of the Real Super Geeks podcast, and now it is time for our post show, the weird and wild world that is Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Highlights of the weirdest news that comes out of Florida and beyond.
Unfortunately, I cannot stay for Florida Man this week. I'm bummed about it, but I've got an early appointment in the morning, so
Oh no!
I know. But I'll tune into the recording because I'm always interested in what happens with Florida Man. So
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, thank you,
All right.
Carlos. You have a
Thanks,
good
everyone.
one. Good luck tomorrow.
Florida Man.
Bye, Travis. Bye, Raina.
Bye, Travis. Bye, Raina.
bye, Travis. Bye, Lane.
I've also got to go. I've got a early morning golf tea time with some best friends from out of town, so I got to be up at 6.
Look at your fancy ass going golfing and shit. The only way you can get more fancy is if you do tennis too.
I'm out because I don't belong
You
in
know
this
what's-
rich club party
Actually, it's funny. My
anymore.
best
I'm
friend,
out.
my best friend coming down from Albuquerque. He's a star tennis player. So go figure.
Oh, that's just.
Oh.
And you're living in a house that doesn't have soundproofing for your room right now. Come on.
All right, I'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Greg. Okay, Ross, start us off with this story you want to tell us about.
All right. Our headline story for Florida Man, the weirdest news of Florida and beyond. Fatality at the Redneck Rave. From the Lexington Herald Reader by Jeremy Sherensall. Thousands of people gathered last week to hold America's wildest and craziest country party in the Kentucky town so small it doesn't even have a stoplight. Days of disorder resulted in 4 dozen people criminally charged and left others with gruesome injuries. Blue Holla Off-Road Park in Edmonton County played host to the Redneck Rave, a 5-day country party that organizers promised would feature mud, music, and mayhem. The event was organized by a country rapper known as Justin Time. Edmonton County Sheriff's Office was tasked with policing twice its usual population, as some Redneck Rave participants allegedly committed assaults, severed fingers, got impaled, and became so intoxicated they were ill.
So they were drinking bath salts, not just snorting them.
Oh, the first car that they searched had meth, other illicit substances, and open containers. The first car they searched.
I mean,
that set the tone for the weekend.
Look. I mean, that literally is like the most redneck thing. Like when everybody talks about like the opioid epidemic is massive in the fucking South, and it's a whole bunch of rednecks.
Organizers relish the negative attention the event's outcomes produced on Wednesday. Sheriff Shane Doyle knew the event would cause problems for his staff after similar gatherings last year overwhelmed his personnel. More planning by the event's host meant more people showing up. Doyle had to plan more too. He gathered a month before with local emergency management officials, law enforcement partners, firefighters, and emergency medical services to find out how best to handle what was promoted as the biggest country party you'll ever go to. He put his deputies on mandatory overtime and enlisted the help of his volunteer deputies. We all tried to figure it out. How can we provide 24-hour coverage during this event? He said. The sheriff's office doesn't typically have the staff or budget to provide 24-hour coverage. Manpower was an issue. Deputies tried to contain the party. Doyle said he didn't have enough personnel to go to the park and shut down all illegal activity. The plan instead was to contain it. The sheriff's office hoped to catch anyone doing anything illegal outside the park. They were going to do whatever they were going to do, Doyle said. We wanted to be good hosts, but we also wanted them to be good neighbors and visitors. And that's about as far as I'll go from there. Yes, Travis, I will hydrate. Thank you.
So,
So Travis left the stream, but he's still torturing you in chat.
yeah, that was, yeah.
Torturing with love.
I can't read these stories like you, but I like reading the headlines. Florida man attacks victim with a jar of salsa at a 7-Eleven and steals a Choco Taco.
Oh, fuck. Hey,
Was this like a Twisted Tea kind of assault where he gets smacked up the head with it, or was it
Florida
thrown at
man.
somebody?
No. The Twisted Tea thing was a whole racist rant. No.
I'm talking about the method of the attack.
Let's see. It just says attacked. It doesn't say how.
Okay.
It just says the force of the throw caused the glass jar to break. Oh, on the victim's back, leaving visible swelling, redness, and minor lacerations.
Ouch.
like you have to have the highlight of your day to be smacked in the back with a Choco Taco.
No, it's a jar of salsa.
Oh God! Buy a
he-
Choco
I see.
Taco.
Like, holy crap! No, that guy didn't. No, it wasn't a Twisted Tea situation. It was a full-on ball pitch. No, just by reading that, no, guy literally just pitched the salsa at whoever it was.
Yep.
Wow.
Florida pitcher.
Mm-hmm. Justin?
Yes. Oh, hang on. Florida pitcher. There we go.
There we go.
Add her up.
You got another one, Ross?
I have to queue it up, so go ahead and read
Okay.
one more, or read a couple more.
Immediately.
Okay. So this one I literally don't have to read the story on. The entire story is in the headline. You know what's going on.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Florida man sues artist for stealing idea for invisible sculpture that sold for $18,000.
What?
I hope he has a patent for it.
Florida man.
But yeah, there was a big story about an artist who did several invisible sculptures, and it sold for an obscene amount of money.
Look, someone bought that stapled banana to the canvas thing for like $23,000.
Yep.
I mean, look, I understand that art is a way to liquidate wealth, so that you can turn around and sell it later. It's a way to get money out of your pocket so that it can be in an asset that you can use later. But guys, come on. It's a banana nailed to fucking canvas.
It wasn't even nailed to canvas. It was duct taped to the wall.
I mean, it's like, Christ, that's not abstract art. That's you being taken for a ride. Like, come on. There's like the what's his name? Banksy. Banksy literally made a single fucking art piece, just one, that he allowed to be auctioned off. And the moment the auction was done, he literally hit a button and it was shredded. And all of these idiots who just then auction or like bid for this art piece wanted to suddenly double the price because of what just happened. How fucking retarded are you people?
Hey, if any artists are watching, this isn't your audience. People are looking at your art and want to buy your art for your art, not for a statement or an idea.
Or to liquidate their cash on hand. Like,
Don't be discouraged
agree.
because of wealthy idiots with more money than sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just think it's funny that the Florida man is suing the artist for doing that.
All right, here we go.
Florida man.
Florida man gets knocked out by Muay Thai kickboxer and MMA fighter Joe Schilling.
Uh-oh.
From Deadspin, who are still around, surprisingly, after
Mhm.
everything that happened. But we can suppose that all bets are off when you're drunk. A 31-year-old man from Fort Lauderdale named Justin Balboa was obviously intoxicated, according to police, when he was at the bar and leaned into 37-year-old Joe Schilling, a 23-9 Muay Thai kickboxer and 4-6 mixed martial artist who formerly competed in Bellator, the second largest MMA promotion in the country behind UFC. To the hypnotic and joyous tune of The Next Episode by Dr. Dre, featuring Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, and Corrupt, Schilling began walking away, but turned back around when Balboa appeared to initiate a confrontation. Balboa seemingly began to pantomime a strike, and before he could complete his motion, the well-trained Schilling reflexively landed a short right hook, followed by left, which knocked out the abrasive Florida man who works as a busboy at an Outback Steakhouse.
Well, there you go. Busboy got busted.
Busted Florida man.
Oh, and it was on video. No, it wasn't. Never mind.
Boo.
No, it is on video.
Well, there you go. I like the dramatic pause though. Oh, it was on video. Oh no, it wasn't. That was great. That was great.
No, it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm sharing it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Screen.
Make sure to share audio.
I will share the audio.
We shouldn't share the audio. It's copyrighted music.
Oh yeah, don't share the
Don't share the audio because it's Dr. Dre.
Yeah. All right, you guys see it?
Okay.
Well, is it
You
muted?
see it?
No, we don't see it.
Is
Justin?
it muted? Is it muted?
It is
Before I
muted,
put it-
yes.
Okay.
Okay, about here.
Mm.
Damn.
1, 2, and out.
God, that
Florida
happens.
man.
That happened so fast you couldn't even see like the weak ass dude try and fake a hit.
You got fucked up, Florida man.
Okay, so a lot of these are rather risque. I have to read some of these because the Florida man headline doesn't make any sense. So the only one I can say with any certainty is a creepy Florida man arrested after recording a depicted mass shooting.
That's bad taste.
Yeah, it's.
Florida man.
I mean, I don't know how to explain this.
Florida man records that's why you get filming licenses.
Well, I mean, it's like he did it on Instagram or something, and it's like him filming with whatever the hell weapon he has, and he's like threatening to do a mass shooting. It's like, and he's aiming the weapon as he's walking around. And I'm like, yeah. But I didn't want to, see, that one is probably one of the more tame ones of the stuff that's just like blatant. Because like, there's the fire chief whose wife went on a naked rampage at an Outback Steakhouse. Now he's literally being pushed out of the force because he created a quote unquote unsafe work environment. It's like, yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, duh. Huh.
Crazy.
Here's a good one. Steel. Let me try and get that Cronkite voice again.
Slow
There
it
we
down.
go.
Slow it down.
Yes.
Yes.
A steel
Sword.
plate saves man from axe blow to the head. Woman arrested for attempted murder. Citrus County Sheriff's Office authorities arrested 30-year-old Cassandra Brooke, Hallmark, on Sunday, June 26, on a charge of attempted premeditated murder with a deadly weapon. Hallmark was jailed without bond. According to Hallmark's arrest report, the sheriff's office was dispatched Saturday to a man being struck by a double-sided medieval axe at a Hernando address. Hallmark, who a witness identified as the man's alleged attacker, had run away. Deputies questioned the man, who said he and another man were working on a water pump when he felt a thump at the rear of his head, stunning him before he felt a second impact. Deputies noted an inch-long cut in the back of the man's head, a couple of inches away from the top of his spinal cord. It was later discovered the victim had a steel plate inserted into the back of his skull, Hallmark arrest report states, which may have contributed to him becoming dazed. According to the arrest report, the man said he saw the other man yelling at Hallmark, who was holding an axe above her head before the other man disarmed her and chased her away. Deputies spoke to the man who witnessed the alleged attack. He corroborated the injured man's statements, adding Hallmark, who is homeless, stayed in a shed on his property the evening before. He said he let Hallmark into his house to get cigarettes when she must have grabbed the weapon from his wall display. Hallmark's statements to deputies was redacted in her arrest report. So, yeah.
What the fuck, Florida man?
This is okay, Ross, you have to read this
Okay.
because it's not something that I could just outright explain, because this is a Florida injustice. Like, the Florida man is actually the victim in this story.
Okay.
So let me link this one to you. There we go.
Injustice, Florida man?
It's in our StreamYard's chat. There we go.
Okay. Okay. Let me get the headline for that one. I saw it just a minute ago. Let's see. What voice to use for this one?
Is there a you should feel sorry for this character voice?
I was gonna do a J. Jonah Jameson, or my
There you
best
go.
attempt.
Oh, no.
No?
That's way too harsh for this story.
Okay.
You're gonna
Maybe I
feel
could try a Philip DeFranco.
that might work.
All right. What's up, you beautiful bastards? My name is Ross, and in this story, a Florida man risks jail time over a delicious to-go salad. On June 22nd, an incident began referred to as Saladgate. Oh, God. Erupted on social media when Winter Park police officers issued Bruce Woodburn a trespass warning after he requested 2 salads from Hillstone Restaurant. After sharing his story on a Facebook video, the Cross County Mortgage Branch manager's recount of the ridiculous experience not only went viral, but also coined another name, CSI, Criminal Salad Investigation. For nearly 20 years, Woodburn has ordered the same salad to go for his wife at Hillstone, the restaurant he has frequented since it was known as Houston's. But on Tuesday, that tradition ended when 2 Winter Park police officers and a trespass warning. I asked the server if I could please have 2 salads to go, 1 chicken salad and 1 Caesar salad. And so she takes my order and comes back and says, "I can't let you have a to-go salad." Woodburn said in his video, "Well, we've been ordering that salad for 20 years here, and it used to be Houston's, the same salad. My wife loves the salad, and whenever I go for a business lunch, I always grab one and bring it home for her." The server explains that it would be against restaurant policy to let Woodburn take the salad home. After Woodburn was denied his to-go order, his friend Chelsea Herring, with whom he was dining, then attempted to order the salads for the table for in-restaurant dining. According to Woodburn, Herring said they would eat the meals at their table, but the manager did not believe the intent of the eater and denied both of them the salads again. According to Woodburn, the manager told him that the restaurant would not let them order the salad for in-restaurant dining and alluded to the possibility of Woodburn asking for a to-go container once the server delivered the salads to the table. Woodburn explained in his video that he understood the restaurant would not be accountable for maintaining the flavor or ingredients of the salads while he transported them home to his wife. It's not like I'm to return the salad, Woodburn said. The manager comes back and he says, I need you to leave. Woodburn went on to explain that he and Herring were not getting irate, and that neither of the two diners raised their voices during the conversation with the restaurant managers. The head of the manager comes over and she goes, I need you to just pay the bill and get out of here, Woodburn said. As the two diners made their way out of the restaurant, Woodburn recounts the two Hillstone managers were outside of the Hillstone parking lot waiting for he and Herring. According to Woodburn, the managers were accompanied by 2 Winter Park police officers, along with 3 to 4 police cars. The officers issue Woodburn a trespassing warning.
What?
Yeah.
There's gotta be more to this. There's gotta be more to this.
That's weird.
There's gotta be more to this.
Not really. Reading a bit ahead. Yeah. A couple of restaurant managers being assholes.
There's gotta be more.
No to-go order, no takeout. You're going to sit there, I'm going to watch you eat it, and then I'm going to call the police on you for causing a scene.
And you can never come back to the restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
someone's gonna get fired.
It's a lot of bad press. You just invite it on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If you
Someone's in trouble.
look, I would have been. Look, if I was a manager at the restaurant, it's like no to-go orders. Okay, no to-go orders. We'll order 2 salads for the table. And it's like cheeky. Okay, fine.
I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. Every restaurant has to
It's. I mean, look. Restaurants are allowed to have their policies. That's fine. You can't fault the player for the use of in-game mechanics and ordering a salad for the table, and then after 30 minutes of eating, asking for a to-go box after never having touched the salad is a legitimate use of in-game mechanics to take a salad home.
Yep.
Oh, some people and their power trips. That's all that is. That's.
So does that mean that this story is actually about a Florida woman? Because both of the managers were women.
I suppose so.
Wow.
Or would it be a Florida Karen?
Manager? Can a manager be a Karen?
Yes.
Okay.
Because yes, in this particular story, yes, the manager was a Karen. Why? Because she had another Karen to talk to, also a manager.
And then they went to the ultimate manager.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There you go, Florida Karen.
Yeah. There you go. There you go, Justin.
Florida Karen.
I think that's what we're going to call it tonight, because
Agreed.
reading that was just
That's just
Well,
Oh
here's
my God.
a headline to lead us out on a more positive note.
okay.
Florida man saves his pet from being crushed by an alligator while still keeping his cigar.
Badass
Florida
man.
man.
Florida man, part of the A team.
All right. Well,
man.
that will conclude tonight's edition of Florida Man, the weird news out of Florida and beyond. I hope you all have a wonderful, weekend, a happy 4th of July if you're in the US, and everywhere else, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again next week.
And remember, I know you say live and let live, but if the world we live in ever makes you give it a cry, say live and let die.
Wow. Alrighty.